Welcome to Kranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversations for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Kranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Good night, good night, good night. Can you hear me loud and clear? I come through loud, boy. Right? Can you hear me? I get come early. Markland Barrett. I know Marlon, not Markland. Jargons, bless up Fortis. Oh, you know, and bless up Conrad. Happy Easter for those of you who celebrate Easter. I did eat some bun and cheese, which is not good for you actually, but I do stick to tradition once in a while. Sherman, bless up. Vacation. What's that? Phones, ja? And Eichel. Let me just call it Eichel and Meek. Eichel and Meek. Good night, everybody. Good night. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm looking forward to the show, you know. A lot is happening over the last year, actually. Many of us thought we'd be. By the way, people, somebody, I have never seen somebody in response to my videos before. The ones I did on Speed. Everybody have a view, and they have to provide their perspective. So, one of the person who commented actually said to me that I need to there's a YouTube program called Diary of a CEO, and the hosts have a very good way of asking for people to subscribe. He said I should look at it and I should emulate it, not imitate it, and use that as my basis to help derive live. But then I thought and subscribe. Then I thought about it, but he's English and I'm Jamaican. So, they try to be proper, you know. Some of them are very deceitful. So I don't know if I can do it that way. So I'm gonna try to be nice though. How would I put it? Let me just put it in my own words. So in order for me to continue to try to evolve and grow this program, I cannot do it without your help. And I will need those of you who are subscribing and have subscribed and come to the program regularly to share the program and invite others and encourage them to join. And those of you who are new and like the content, please hit the subscribe button and please hit the like button. So that's off the top of my head, trying to be nice. And hopefully we will continue this journey of what I call the Kranky Nation. Colette said, I thought you were buying subs. I don't care what they want to say. No, Colette, the number keep increasing. In the last week, I got 340 subs just by doing the Reggae Boyz shows. So them can't complain anymore. People, being bad mind is not a redeeming quality. That's all I'll say. You know, eating a heart out. Hey, you don't like my new background? See me a big like and share. See me put them on top. I make it prominent. I make it prominent, people. Prominent. We don't care what they want to say. They can eat them heart out. The numbers I grow, I don't like it. The Kranky Nation is moving up. And so people can't take it. And they can't, that man saying it's much more palatable. Oh, that's much more palatable? So I'm going to hit the like button and I'll come off, I sure that's not good. All right. I'll get the Jamaican out of me. See? I'm going to get some of the English that I forsake a long time ago. I'm going to try to speak like my mates and try to make sure I communicate it properly. One loss. A crank 2030 Kranky. Jamaica will not qualify for no World Cup. We'll see. Well, I have the roadmap tonight. I have the template. Template and roadmap, people. Of course, we'll qualify for the World Cup. We did not qualify for the World Cup. And everybody has something to say. Whether you're overseas, whether you're local, whether you're insider. Everybody have their thoughts. So tonight we'll do a couple of things. I was watching AFTV and I took a little snippet from what Robbie and those of you know the AFTV, Robbie and Expression, who's not AFTV, he's a Tottenham fan, but he's a joint program with Robbie. And then someone sent me, and I did see it myself, Maverick providing a perspective on Rudolph Speid and whether or not he should be the Reggae Boyz coach. And I must say, it's the first time I'm going to compliment Maverick for having some, you know what? Because a lot of the traditional media in Jamaica are very afraid to say what's on their mind. Even when he was interviewed the other day, he was chastising the host, or the two hosts, Orville and what's his name, Zinedine, chastising them. So if you ask them no question, them can go Google and find out. And I'm here thinking, what if I was interviewing him? What the hell would I do? We don't want to know. They don't want to know. Who was Mad Bad Conrad? We don't want to know, people. I don't want to know, and we don't want to know. And that's why Rudolph don't come on my program. Because and then Rudolph, meet him in the public domain, you know. No fire, no fire. And Rudolph has been ducking me. You know, like how you have a championship fight, people. You know, you see boxing. You know, I go too way back, but you know, boxing. I like a Fury and Joshua. They've been ducking each other for years. Then they get old, them can't even fight no more. Two of them not good no more. But yeah, Rudolph has been ducking, man. Rudolph told me, I asked Rudolph to come on my channel. He said he can't go on everybody else. He can't go on everybody's channel. But he's been going on everybody's channel. He's been going on channel. Rudolph, stop hide, Rudolph. Stop hide. The man that treat you with kids' gloves. Come make we have some rumble on YouTube. Let's have a rumble, Rudolph. It'd be a good spectacle. It'd be a good conversation. Because you know, so you're smart and you know you get cute with the purpose people in language and what you talk about and how you talk about it and how you position things. We're breaking some of that tonight. So let's start off with this. I have a video. Let me go to the video. It's a reaction video tonight, people. Meaning I play something and then I'm going to react to it. I'm going to go first with Robbie Lyle and Expression, just expressing their disappointment of Jamaica not making the World Cup. And then we jump into the Maverick interview. Vacation, take the point. He's saying you're nobody. I don't even know what that means. Everybody's somebody. Vacation point. Don't be confused, Vacation point. Don't be confused. I know what you're trying to say. There's no such thing as nobody. Even the madman on the street downtown Kingston are somebody. He may not have his right mind, but he's somebody. Everybody's somebody. Don't lie anybody. So if Kranky doesn't have a profile, and first of all, that's nonsense because all the YouTubers on YouTube who cover Jamaica football, there's not much material difference between all of them. So that can't be the reason that you're nobody. I have a good reason. I understand why you don't want to come on my channel, and I don't blame him. I probably wouldn't come either. Right? I probably wouldn't come either. I don't blame Rudolph. Not at all. Rudolph knows why he doesn't come on the channel, and that's his prerogative. But he jumps on Orville's channel with Zinedine, KLS. That's the first one he went to when he finished because he knows it's going to be good reception and they won't be, and they'll structure the interview so people can put context around it. They can't be nuanced. They just gotta ask a plain vanilla question with no context to it, and you can just answer it anything you want. But it generates ratings, so that's a good thing. By the way, everyone, if you just came into the chat, I said earlier to everyone in the chat that my hope tonight is that given my new behavior in which I'm trying to comport myself as a professional in a manner conducive of what this platform should be and entails, that you will hit the like button and the subscribe button. Yes, I'm being speaky-spokey, as some of you will say, because I like speaky-spokey sometimes. So please hit the like button and please hit the subscribe button. I would truly appreciate it. Now let's listen to AFTV and what they had to say. It's very short. And then we're going to jump into the Maverick interview because that's the main part of it. That's the main part of the interview. All right? Let's hear it.
To Jamaica.
Of course I saw that, blood. You know them way there. I was watching that, fam. You know
out of the World Cup.
Flipping Stoke Maker, bruv. They deserved it, bruv. Long ball, long ball, long ball. You get me? And where was Whisper as well, blood? Broski, like, big man thing. The only way we were winning that game if they had, what's his name? That Ivan, what's that fool that they painted on the Arsenal thing, your set piece coach? What's his name? Jovic.
Oh,
yeah.
Jovic, yeah.
If we had Jovic, blood, for Jamaica, we would have won 7-0.
We had a lot of corners.
Of course we did, bro.
But it was so disappointing, man. They didn't get knocked out in that particular. They actually did better than I thought they would.
Brother, he was
because I thought they were going to get
drinking
smoked.
Bailey's, blood. You know what I'm saying, fam? We need our top players to show up. But look, even that guy, he didn't even bring our best players, blood.
Yeah.
He didn't bring our best players, fam. Do you know what I mean? And Congo were just dancing all over us, blood.
Yeah, well,
we never deserved to win that game.
Congo through. Jamaica didn't make it, but
we didn't Jamaica, bro.
I think there's big changes need to be made, man.
Yeah.
They've got to. By the time we get to the next World Cup, because the talent is there, there's players playing in the Premier League and that who could, mix that talent in Jamaica with them, get in a good manager, get in some good system there, and they can qualify for that. But we really missed an opportunity, man.
So that was Robbie and Expression of his own channel, but they're both English born of Jamaican descent. And you hear them expressing their disappointment of Jamaica not qualifying for the World Cup. I think the thing that was very, you could pull out of that discussion, a couple of things. One is Expression saying we play long ball. Now, if you talk to Rudolph Speid, he will say we had more possession than Congo did, right? And he's using that possession to say how well they played. And yet, an independent observer like Expression can see that we're kicking the ball away throughout the game. And if we had more, can you imagine if we didn't kick the ball away, what possession we'd have? Probably maybe not 50 something, maybe 60, 70, frankly, the way Congo plays. So to say that, and you'll hear later on the program, Rudolph protesting about the long ball thing, and it's a fictitious thing, and then say King, what he said about King? King had cramps. Like what the hell is these cramps of the long ball? The first play of the game, the ball was passed back to King, and he kicked the ball outside on the left-hand side over Campbell's head. And he did it 4 of 19 times in the entire game. He was about less than 25%. No, less than 25% in his accuracy with the long ball. That is no recipe for success, right? And as Robbie mentioned, which I thought was interesting, he said we have the talent, but changes have to be made. Material changes. Let me repeat that, people. The view from any independent observer, and these two independent observers, you got to make major changes. You can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get a different result. Come on. That is not logical. You thought Expression was Nigerian. Now Expression is Jamaican descent. What are you talking about? You can't tell? This a man bossy and arrogant and full of himself. He has to be Jamaican. You know that. Expression was Jamaican. We are talking about. See the man have lyrics to kill. The most Jamaican man, but Nigerian. No, it's an Expression of Yardy, man. Now I heard him say, well, he's saying that they have talent in Jamaica. Nobody said we should, it's not balance, people. Don't use the balance thing. Man, I say no balance. Him say go get some people to mix with the one in Jamaica. That's how we got to think about it. There's nothing wrong with that. What we don't want is to have inferior product on the field. Nigerians are the same. Okay, well, I stand corrected then. So let's see. Now we're gonna go. So, he talked about, if you interpret what he's saying, you need structure, you need cohesiveness. We don't need what we get. Seriously. And if you think about it, the decision making, which you're gonna hear throughout this discussion, you heard in the last interview that Rudolph Speid had, was horrible. Throughout the whole campaign, the tactics were questionable. And in this one game, a lot of people are questioning the substitutions, which we'll get into as we go through this. But I think what Robbie was saying is that Jamaica has talent, which I think we all agree. But sometimes if you don't find a good way to bring that talent together, first of all, go identify the talent, have a structure and a process to source the talent, then bring the talent together and manage the talent, you're not going to have good outcome. So AFTV didn't tell us anything new. It tells us what we know, but it's just good to get somebody's opinion who's independent of this and observing from afar and have similar view to what most of us have, actually. It's not anything new. Now, as I said before, Oral Tracey Maverick, or as I call him, Topical. Who's getting better at Topical? So Topical is Oral Tracey Maverick. He has a show called Sports Explosion, so most of you know him. Now, Topical will say he doesn't watch my program. How come Jamaican them stay so, people? How Jamaicans stay so? You watch somebody's program, but you don't want them to know you watch your program. But then me see I do some things, or me say no do, we can't just come out of the blue, so. Me don't understand. And then you said to me one time, say, you do a show from Atlanta. I said to myself, well, you know me that. You know me that Atlanta unless you watch me. You don't say no watch my program at all. You know watching, I don't time, too busy. I have to laugh sometime, you know. Just admit you watch a program, and you learn something from it too. Because you don't just watch me. I don't come like you know. I talk opinion all the time, you know. I talk both opinion and facts. As Rudolph said, if you don't have no facts, don't come to me. Because you might have your head. That was so harsh of Rudolph. Beats at the man them. But they were very professional. Better them than me. Owen Owen seems to be very upset about something. Oh, everybody have talent. If Nana was on the pitch, what are you saying? Why is this thing? Oh, Nana was on the pitch. The game, Pinnock had to cover for King. Yeah. One speed badness. Yep. That badness was all right. All right, let's go into Maverick now. So Maverick, we're going to move into the Maverick point. Because Maverick has one of the strongest voices locally. Or as I call him, Topical is one of the strongest voices locally. But this, and normally he vacillates and waffles when it comes to certain topic. Because you don't want to step on tour. And if you want to talk about politics, you may talk high level. You know, and call out nobody. Because you know Jamaica is an interesting place. And he, probably one of the first time he and Maverick come out in something so a little bit sensitive. Because you know him called Rudolph Speedy. You call somebody Speedy, that means a familiarity name, right? It's a familiarity thing. I don't know, person on the corner, a familiarity thing. And him call him Speedy. So therefore, if I call him Speedy, then my relationship. And as him sit on him program the other day, him talk football with Speed. And one time Speed said, even though Speed must not believe it anymore, but one time him said, Maverick was one of the top 5 football minds in Jamaica. That means they're not made to me. They're not too many good football minds in Jamaica. If Maverick was like top 5, them, I mean, me engage with Maverick once in a while. Maverick don't know top 5, man. No way. In no country. No way. Too topical. You know, don't know the income. You know, remind me of? It's when Speed beat up the was them and said them ask about the players, them, the name of the players, them and them a stumble. Or who the change make for them a stumble. That's some Maverick's theater. But Speed not gonna beat him, so. Speed ought to get more respect for him, look like. Because when you have more respect for people, you now come at them so hard. But anyway. So this is not just about emotion. I think Maverick thing tying to his strong stance about accountability, responsibility, and says, I would use the word standard, maybe loosely. And what you draw from what he said was, I'm just going to get into him. If you're part of the failure, then you shouldn't really lead the solution, you know. Now, Maverick would know. Him know Jamaica, him know the system, him don't know the players, them, but at least him can see from afar what go wrong. So let's do this. Let's listen to the program. I have some, you know what I did? I collate the video. So I have something where Speed is speaking, because I want to make sure this is authentic. What Speed said, wherever I could get it, and then tied into what Maverick gonna say, that's what I try to do. So maybe a little bit, jumbled a little bit, but bear with me, all right? Here we go. This is Speed.
Javi, your question.
Yeah. From Speed. One,
Richard King kept playing the long ball out, which wasn't effective. I want to know if you advise him to do so, or did you try to contain him at any time to make a shorter pass and try going forward?
All right.
So when he was cramping up, I can tell you they were not effective because but we couldn't make a change. As I say, we had 4 forced change. But if you look at the construct of the team from in the first game and the second game, you have never seen a Jamaica team outpossess any team of that quality. So clearly, the long ball is a myth to say we are playing too many long balls. We, as a team, we outpossess this team by 6 points. By 6 points. The one before we had, and in the first half we had 56% possession against their 43. So the long ball thing is a myth that we want to create. But if everybody Google it, then would have realized that we had possession over this team, this quality team, and we have never had possession over any quality team like this more than what they have. Tells you that we're not trying to play long ball. So if it does happen to my time, it's just because of what is necessary.
Let me respond to that, people, because I responded to them. I'll do it again. Rudolph is getting defensive. The man asks why King kick him in the ball, and his response is it happened when he was cramping up. That's a bunch of baloney. That is so Rudolph. That's why you can't come up and channel Rudolph. Because and let me look at man then. I know all the stats them in Rudolph. That's a pure nonsense you talk. As I say, a pure SCR talk. That's pure nonsense. Rudolph King wasn't cramping up when he kicked the long ball. The first ball him kick away. And kick away 15 of them after that, out of 19 when I reach his destination. A pure long ball in my kick. That's why people are complaining. If expression can see it, and your expression earlier said it, and then this caller calling said it, then it's obvious to everybody except the coach. That's a problem. People, that's a problem. If you are the coach, and somebody say X, Y, Z, and you have protest and push back really hard, and you have no leg to stand on, when do you acquiesce and say, you know what? In hindsight, maybe you're right. Him can't say that. It's not part of his vocabulary. It's not part of his demeanor. It's not part of his domain. Him can't just say, you know what? You're right. Too much long ball. It shouldn't have happened. But, the game is done. Let's move on. The man that protests and push back says a narrative people that bring together because you had more possession. Both things can be true. You could have more possession, but you could also have had much more possession if King never kicked the ball them. Say King was 10 off 19. You may say, you know what, I'm 50%, just over 50%. It's all right. The man is 4 off 19. How can that be okay? And then you complain and push back and a fight a battle which you can't win. Like we don't know football. We don't watch nothing. And if you go Google, what we Google for? Google sometime wrong. Rotted.
Question though is Richard King as a central defender seems to do it more often than...
I can't single him out because suppose come under pressure and have to see if this thing. I can't go single him out like that. But I told you the past.
People, you can't say supposing come under pressure. We watching the game under no pressure. That's the problem I have, people, with these hosts. Well, ask the question. They're watching the game. Even though under no pressure, make you get the ball most of the time. No pressure. Congo was not pressuring us that way. Them start them defense just before the halfway line, and in them 1/2 or just over the halfway line. There's no pressure. Just kick with the ball. And you tell people them nonsense about say, suppose him come on. Suppose the game done, you can't suppose. That's almost like futuristic or something you try to predict. We see it already. We don't have to go say suppose. It's fact.
Were not effective at some of them because I know it was cramping up in the end. Because if you look at the first half and in the middle, they were not playing that type of ball. Anyway, we're trying to build through the lines all the time, taking our patiently.
In crank up, I'm foot tight to kick with the ball. That's why I'm cramp up. Foot tight to kick with the ball. And like the other people, I'm cramp up because of the weather. I'm tight to kick with the ball, so I'm cramp up.
Building up. So at the end, it happened, and they were not effective. And I agree, but we were not a long ball team. Nobody try to insinuate that we were trying to play in a long ball.
Yes. Mr. Speid, are you the head coach now for Jamaica team or are you the technical committee head?
Neither. My contract expired with the JFF on the 31st of March as the head coach, and I had relinquished the position as chairman of the technical committee from last year when I was appointed as the interim head coach. So I'm neither.
So you are now only the director at the JFF?
Yes.
Hey, YouTube fam, the Maverick on the app again. Not change. Still the best and most credible opinion. Still fair and fearless analysis. me a listen, Mr. Rudolph Speid, you know, former chair of the JFF Technical Committee, and you know, former interim coach of the Reggae Boyz senior team. Him there on the radio, and him obviously talk about we're going with the World Cup campaign. And I find it very revealing, some of the things them that I heard. I can't call it an interview, because it was more like a PR exercise. And basically, I paved the way to usher himself into the head coaching job at the Reggae Boyz on a full-time basis. And the only part things start come together when me think about it, you know. Remember, a couple of weeks ago, me hear about an appointment, a coaching appointment at Mr. Speid Club Cavalier. Fuzzy, where is the coach of a Firehouse? And they done a Georges too. Fuzzy now, all of a sudden from nowhere, a Cavalier, me see Fuzzy end up. Me never think nothing of it at the time. But now that me have put that all the eyes and cross all the T's now. Me don't realize say something or something.
And the second question, he was asking why would they trust me?
Why should the public continue to trust
I'm not telling anybody to trust me. I have resigned my contract up. I am not. I don't have any job. You don't have to trust me. My contract is up.
Yeah.
But I have coached 4 games. 1-3, and even the 4th one, at full time it was still 0-0. And let me put it against this background. So I checked, just in case nobody's not want to check. The value of the total Jamaica team is $54 million. If you value all the players in the Jamaica team. The value of the Congo team, $154 million. You see the difference? 3 times. What that coach have to work with, value 3 times what me have to work with. So it's like you telling me that a Boxy and a Mercedes-Benz clash. And you're telling me that the Boxy will win the race.
We give another piece of congruent information now. You remember them 2 warm-up matches when Mr. Speid go play down the island? I don't remember the 2 teams he play. He play 2 teams with a local base squad. Win the 2 games them. And we are say, what kind of sense them kind of warm-up match I make right now when the man not take a part in the playoffs we just done? In the interview me hear Mr. Speid, I talk about him coaching record. 4 games in charge. 3 wins. And he never call a one year. Against the DRC a defeat, you know. Him skillfully, say technically, that game went to overtime. So he can make a technical case, you know. Saying 4 games in charge, him not suffer defeat. Poor Jesus. Hey, Mr. Speid is very smart, you know. And he's very slick. That is why he have so much control over Jamaica football. But Mr. Speid, some other ones that we out here go to school and know if we use this, you know. And we can see certain things from a distance. So when you put all of the, when you listen to Mr. Speid on the radio, first of all, him talk about rubbish, you know. So when I time he start get annoyed, he say, well, this man take people for idiot. Eh? When them start asking him some question about the game itself and the selection of the team. Make me go at the selection of the team first. Somebody asked him about Whisper, the omission of Whisper. And also the fact say, him end up never on a centre forward in the most crucial game. And end up have to put Cephas to play centre forward. And him start explaining him selection criteria. And the criteria leave out Whisper no him.
One of the questions that I've heard a lot of people asking, which seems legitimate to me, is, was Rudolph Speid, in hindsight, wrong to leave out Whisper out of the team?
I didn't leave him out. The criteria and the criteria he made, the condition he couldn't make, and those were clear to everybody for months. So listen, you want to get in this squad, where's a do or die game, this is what you got to do. He didn't satisfy the condition.
And at the end of the day, if what do you say to those who say, were those criteria appropriate, seeing that players with apparently less abilities, like Fuller and Ellis from Racing, that
who said they had less abilities? They haven't gotten the chance. Who said they had less abilities?
Well, most Jamaicans think
we see them every weekend, Mr. Speid.
Would be ahead of those in terms of quality.
Yeah, but the criteria and the conditions there, not those. So you're saying if you have a car in a garage that is not being driven, it's better than one that drive every day. You're not sure, and that's where the uncertainty come in. So yes, you saw those players play week in and week out, and that was one of the criteria they made it, and we included them. And the truth is, they were all replacements. They were all replacement players.
Why were they not on the bench for at least?
Because we only could put 23 on the bench, so we have to leave out 4 every match.
You know what, people? You know what I realized? I've been going through this for quite a bit now. Listen to all the interview 4 or 5 times, picking things up. Then listen to the Maverick response. So I try to combine all of this. But here's what I realized. This whole thing is orchestrated in the people. This whole thing is orchestrated in the people. I'm going to take a step back and think about this big picture. So those 4 players from the JPL come in, it was all planned for them to be part of the team, you know. In my view, you know. It was all a plan. This is not by chance, you know, people. I know Gray got injured and Fuller came in, but for Ming and all of them, this is not by chance, you know, people. Nothing is by chance, you know. Rudolph Speid becoming national coach, it was decided a long time ago, you know. It wasn't, no, you know. This interim thing is nonsense, you know, people. This interim thing is nonsense. It was all planned. Just think about it. The JFF went through a process. I played the rest of my break interview, but I have interrupted for really, let me educate myself and try to bone some things out for you people. So, Rudolph continued to say he's the most qualified coach in Jamaica. Right? So if he's the most qualified coach, and the strategy now going forward is just have local coaches, then who will get the job? You're the most qualified, and you want the job. So me have me most qualified, me have the resume, me have the relationship. Me take the money when I'm gonna give me, even though me not take no monkey money, like Whitmore take monkey money. Now for pay me, because I don't pay the foreign coach them. Then me the most qualified because we went under 17. And not all of that. We went under 17 with Downswell. We go under 20 with Rudolph Austin. They might do all right. When they're going to make the World Cup. Me coach the national team and look how we're the best thing since sliced bread, no. We were brilliant. We had more possession than a much better Congo team with $154 million value on my one. I just 50-something million, 3 times my one. And we got 22 with them. We have more possession. I don't have Jamaica football because I'm me alone do that. Nobody now no possession. We just play a kick and run football. Me play a possession football. So imagine, by default, I have to be national coach. Now, I would say this. Come you know if I don't say it. Rudolph Speid is not the most qualified coach in Jamaica. That's Tapper Whitmore. Don't conflate and confuse the ability to communicate with one's coaching ability to say they're one and the same, because they're not. Experience counts a lot. Where the standard you play counts a lot. In fact, the standard you play informs sometimes how you get some of your license them, how much credit you get. So at the end of the day, Whitmore have taken Jamaica to what? Semi-final and final and World Cup. No, stop it, man. Stop it. But Rudolph have most qualified. Stop the nonsense. Rudolph win Cup in Jamaica, win the league. Whitmore win the league. And win the Caribbean, Whitmore in the Caribbean. No, stop the nonsense, man. Rudolph never go to college, and Whitmore never go to college. So we don't want to talk about. Whitmore go to coaching school, he might go to coaching school. He's not the most qualified. Whitmore's the more qualified. You may not like it. You may use communication as your barometer or your basis or your criteria in terms of how you judge that, but that's nonsense. Whitmore's the most qualified coach in Jamaica. That now going to change. Now, he's coached Jamaica for a long, long time. He's probably not part of the consideration. Rudolph is very smart. He communicates well, but he's not the most qualified coach. And anybody said that don't understand football and how you assess one's ability and one's experience and one's qualification and what informs qualification. You just don't. And I hear this narrative by Maverick and all them, I say the same thing. That's nonsense. But this whole thing was orchestrated. This is not by chance, people. Whatever the outcome was, he was going to be the national coach. Whatever the outcome was, he's going to be the national coach. Now, one thing with the JFA people, them smarter than we thought they were now. Because when they were running for office, you know, some people come up with some, we have to get the beach volleyball, beach football thing, you know, concoct some things, you know. Come up with some things to get people to register something and display somebody else and get it. And then only have 50-something electoral process, only have 50-something votes we get. So it's well constructed, well situated. They know them are not idiot. They might run this thing into the ground. Well, they have run it into the ground. And they want to run that ground somewhere. And I say, no, can't know about it because it's not a public company or a governmental entity. And can't do nothing. So unlike Italy, with Miss World Cup, and the Prime Minister tell the President to resign, then, you know, I say, go. But let's keep going. And you're Maverick said, right, the man orchestrate the whole thing. Hey, Rudolph, you're not bad enough. You're not smart, man, not smart. Pretty never use the smart the right way. Because a friend of mine keep telling me, he believes if somebody's smart, but no, he believes that if you're not doing the right thing in the various circumstances, you're not smart. I think he's conflating being smart with being devious.
I just want to tell Mr. Speid this. Any criteria where you're going to put in place, where I'm going to make you leave out some of your best options and your best weapons and your better players, them they're flawed. Them don't make no sense and not for the wider good of the Jamaica national team. Any criteria, Mr. Speid, where you are going to have, where I go pick Nicky, my name, Fuller from down at TG, respect to Fuller. Ellis from over racing, respect to Ellis. But any criteria, Mr. Speid, I got put in place and select Ellis and Fuller over Whisper is flawed, my boss. And it has show you up. The marks.
The criteria wasn't flawed. The argument or logic as to why the decisions were made, it wasn't about the criteria. The criteria are flawed. No, all right. The criteria are flawed, right? The policies, as we call them, are the criteria. They're flawed, but it wasn't the criteria that supposedly got violated. It was the condition, which is about being fit, playing regularly, right? But what happens is, what Rudolph didn't really say, which he should be pushed on, which is he made exemption for people not satisfying the condition for both Calamarty and for Pinnock. Because they mentioned Pinnock, because you know, the people were asking questions, sometimes people, they're not living and breathing the football like we are, like some of us do. Live and breathe. So we know almost everything. We know more than enough for the people in the JFF no time. But the players and what they might do when they play. No for the people in the chat right now, know 10 times more than people in the JFF. When it comes to the players, them, who eligible play for Jamaica and who play for Jamaica. Even the regular one, them who born in Jamaica and play overseas, they know more about them, who them play, for how much minutes them play, when they play. A lot of people in the JFF, they don't follow that. And the people in the media, traditional media, unlike YouTubers, don't follow that either. So in essence, the criteria, which is 3, which is about 1, you have a contract with a top 20 team. 2, you play in a top league in that country. And 3, you get grandfathered in because you played for the Reggae Boyz before. We're supposed to satisfy that, right? You play for the Reggae Boyz before, and have a contract in a top 20 league, because in the part of Chelsea, it depends on what you want to do that, right? And in playing a top league, well, not playing a top league in that country, but him under the umbrella. So him satisfy the criteria. The condition was, supposedly, he's not playing regularly. Now, I was told by a decent source, we don't want to say great source, because you never know, that we're supposed to left up because of behavior. Now, we hear he was left up because he satisfied the condition, and the condition being referred to is amount in play. But would have never clearly say exactly what that condition is, you know? People go with Pinnock thing. We say Pinnock now playing off ball for Brentford. They might go with Calamarty, but if they watch Calamarty thing, he never playing off ball either. Play a beginning of the season, farm drop off, wasn't playing a lot after that, got sold to Wrexham from Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't playing a lot. Sorry, he wasn't. Right? Don't have a lot of goal contribution to his name. I like the player, so I don't think I like the player, people. But at the end of the day, it wasn't, he says the condition, but he contradicts himself in a sense, or the way he positioned it didn't marry it with others who were in the same situation. Now, someone in the chat just mentioned that Calamarty play much more game than Nicholson, but Nicholson didn't play no ball, people. And what Rudolph doesn't say either is like, you know what? Some coaches believe some people can fit them system than others. That should be playing it. I pick the person who can fit my system than others. You can complain all you want. See, in England, they're losing their mind about Trent Alexander-Arnold not being part of England. And Tuchel and Wright, not like him. No want him in the team. I don't against Trent. Not fit him. Not fit why matter. Anyway, people, it's 296 of you and only 117 like. And I tried today to put my lighting up top so you can see it so I don't have to say it a lot. Please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it.
Mr. Speid about the big mystery on the night.
One more question. Cephas coming on, and the entire Jamaica was a little bit puzzled. Why was he playing in the center of the attack as a number 9, as them say these days?
So I wouldn't be the only person that plays him there, because even for his club, he would have played there. So you need to follow the game.
Right.
He would have played there also for Jamaica before. But what happened? I had 4 forced changes: the whole of the midfield and the left back. They were cramping, they couldn't continue. Those are all forced changes.
Hold on, say this again. You had 4 changes that were all forced.
Forced, right? So I was there coaching the game, and then that wasn't the plan. I had 4 forced changes.
Remind us of those changes again, for those who don't remember.
So Webster couldn't run anymore. He had the cramps or injured. There was the 3 midfielders. Well, definitely 2 of them was out. Couldn't manage.
Which 2?
Well, Hayden cramp.
Well, Hayden, and Farmer
and Casey.
Yeah, and Bobby. We had always planned to train Bobby. So those 4 changes was forced upon us. We didn't really want to make them. Now we have to try fix, because there will be a technical specification before every game. You have an idea who you're going to take out and who going to replace who.
Right.
So we have to be fixing on the fly. And we tried our best to keep them as long as possible, because I think the changes were made like in the 18 minutes before we make any change. So we kind of work out what our best team would be. Or no, probably a little before, maybe the 70th.
It was before.
Yeah, but so we were trying to work out what our best changes. We had what our best changes would be. But when the changes were forced, now we had to be recalibrating. So what we did with Cephas was just catch him in the middle, because I want him on the field for a while. It gave us an advantage because that guy ran at 36-point-something kilometer per hour. So it gave us an advantage to push back the defense line, because they don't want him to get behind them until we're able to figure out the rest of positions. And once we figure them out, we're able to put back Cephas on the wing and make the changes as we see fit. And he did well. So it's easy to just coach a game without having any under pressure. But when you're under pressure and things not going your way, you have to improvise till they get it right. And that's what we did.
Before Maverick come in, I say this. Well, hey, Rudolph, we can't come in program, Rudolph. We have a conversation. First of all, people, I was told right after the game, I got a text from Mexico saying if there were forced changes. And I came out and said that in the public domain, right? I think I said it the same night of the game, actually, because I didn't understand the changes. But let me say this. The change that was made for Cephas have nothing to do with the forced changes. Let me repeat that again. Again, the hosts, they're so disappointing. Push back on that? Back up Rudolph. So you made 4 changes, 3 midfielders and Webster. What have to do with forward line change? Which in Calamarti? What have to do with forward line change? Nothing, 0. I think it was a problem. He didn't want to take off Bailey. For some reason, I want to take off Bailey. Right? Talk about Liam Bailey. Now, Bailey Calamarti should have come off also. He had a horrible game. His game was probably as bad as Bailey's game. Because you guys don't check the stats, look up at the game sometimes to see what's happening. He had a poor game. And Bailey had a worse game, the worst player by far of the 34 who play, whatever the number was. Right? Because both teams make about 6 changes. And he took off Campbell, who was one of our better players, and giving Wan-Bissaka a hard time. So the changes were poor. I didn't have a problem with Cephas playing center forward. No people are making enough nice, but the place, blah, blah, blah. First of all, I thought at the beginning of the game, we'd have played 2-3 in the middle, would play the ball out wide, and Cephas can run him down. I thought Cephas would start, because I had Cephas in my starting lineup. I didn't have Bailey. Because to me, Bailey, not the well for Jamaica. But at the end of the day, and everybody I make nice, but why I'm go center forward. And I focus on the wrong thing. The change that Rudolph is alluding to had nothing to do with the 4 forced changes. It was a poor decision to leave Bailey on the field. It was a poor decision to take off Campbell. If you want to put on Mason Clark, take off Bailey and put Campbell at right wing and put against Clark at left wing. And you want to change Calamarti, you change him and put on anybody because he was having a bad game. But it's nonsense about the forced changes, cause that had nothing to do with them. It's another thing too. Rudolph beats up the worst them. beat them up. Say, then if you ask no question that you can Google and fax. So he was at the game and he don't know what exact time the changes were made. So he cost them ask him that question and he don't know him himself. This is the arrogance in the people. Him himself don't know what time the changes were made. He must say 80-something minute. That's nonsense. They were in the 70-something minute. He must say 80-something minute, but I know 80-something minute. So if you're going to be that exact, because it's factual, him said, no, ask him no question, it's factual. Then you're missing facts that you were part of the whole process. You should know when you made the changes. And the change you made didn't make, the way you talked about it, doesn't make any sense to anybody except those hosts who I don't understand why they didn't push back on you, because they haven't invested enough time to really decipher this and provide a perspective to say, you know what, and challenge you.
When I see us coming on and I play out of position. You hear me, Mr. Speed? Important.
By the way, as Rudolph said, Cephas has played in the Forward Club. When we played US in the Nations League, Hogdomson put him up front where he got a breakaway in the score because he wanted to hit him on the counter and think Cephas Speid through the middle would have worked, and it did work.
Congo through.
Wait, hold up. I messed up, people. I messed up. Sorry.
And
Hold up. I don't know. I think I hit the wrong button.
I want him on the field for a while.
Well, hold up. Yeah, speed talk first. I'll go to Maverick. Okay.
Not defend well. You hear me, Mr. Speed? Important Cephas to play in that position because Cephas does not defend well. And instead of putting Cephas in a natural position where we're going to be more potent and be able to help the team with his strengths, Mr. Speed play the ball in a position where his strengths cannot be exploited for the team. And Mr. Speed put him at centre forward because he claims that the man when put over Cephas' position defend better than Cephas. And the defense you put Cephas on the field for Mr. Speed is a goal you look for. It's a goal you look for when you put Cephas on the field in the boss. So if he moves Cephas out of his more potent position, his most valuable position, to another position, because of Cephas' deficiency, then you shouldn't put Cephas on the field. Because you never put Cephas on the field to show him deficiency. You put Cephas on the field for him use him advantage and try to win you the game. Mr. Speed did not overcomplicate and I overthink when him on the bench, you know. Me hear the man them ask him again. The ball of them were coming from England, the new ball of them. With Speed, especially, and what about people that wax lyrical about? People like me, the kind of, you know, me are skeptical about them. Because them new, and it's not like them a play Champions League, them a big world baller. Me say many of them we see come over the past 2.5 decades come play for Jamaica and not do nothing special for Jamaica. So we don't see why them three did not come in at this late stage and make an immediate world-changing impact. It did not happen. One of the man them asked Mr. Speed say, if the new ball of them, you know, let him down, perform below expectation. Him say no. They were very good. A different game Mr. Speed I watch. See, that answer, you know, is just to cover the embarrassment of how them play the underperforming. You know. The first game, he have to take off one of them half time, you know. And the second game, none of them will start. So, you see that whole chronicle things when I show you how Speed position himself for what on the job. Me and talk about is a process and he's going to recuse himself from the process. Speed, stop take people for idiot. Are you run JFF? From top floor to bottom floor. Are you run JFF? No man on the board. Now vote against you for no appointment where you want. Here the last card where I'm going to draw now. For usher Speed in the position as coach now. We don't have money to pay a white man. Because a white man we really need, you know. If you ask me, you know. We need a white man who will come here, objective, competent white man. Let me have to add that because we carry one full one come here. Speed carry one full one come here. Name McLaren and a vote for him. So Speed is basically going to be ushering himself into the head coaching job of Jamaica. He must sing in praises of how the players responded to him well, and it was a beautiful camp, and people were saying he would not be able to get the best out of these players, and the players were in full. I said, Papa Jesus. The man basically auditioned himself for the job, you know. People, the football get what the duck get right now, you know. Put everything together. Just look on the picture now, man. Me not have nothing personal against Speed, you know. Me and Speed talk football all the while. But generally speaking, when it comes to my national team, me I talk facts. Me I talk common sense. Me people that talk about my cricket for step down. Me not search my argument go around this, you know. Let me tell you the simple reason why me not stretching my argument go around to my crickets for resign. When my crickets appointed Speed, the chair of the technical committee, tell me a better, more qualified person that my crickets should have put in that position and refused to. All we agree that Speed was the best man for the job. Who more qualified in terms of them all-round involvement, knowledge, and impact on the local football than Speed for chair that technical committee there? Now, if you don't want to stretch and say, boy, ultimate responsibility of Ricketts. No. Me think Ricketts put a lot of faith and trust in a Speed. And if the thing fail, a Speed fail. Because Speed there, front, center, and middle, and everything will happen in football. Administratively and technically. And here was Speed that tried to smartly too. Speed is trying to separate the technical chair, Speed. We run with Al Grimson, Kerry McLaren come here, and fail Jamaica in the easiest qualification bid for any World Cup in the history of the game. Speed, technical decision, make we bomb out up the side. The flop of all flop, disaster of all disaster. You know. Speed, fingerprints are all over that failure. So what he has done, he smartly walk away from the chairman and the technical committee position. But the reward for that now is to position himself for the coach. That's why I'm holding up the coaching record and said 4 games, 3 wins, and 1 of them went into extra time. So he might try to divorce the technical committee Speed, you know, from the coach Speed, and that Speed I try to. But guess what? And the same Speed, said Speed. Me personally, me think Speed for recuse himself from the football at the level there for the time being. You fail the easiest campaign with your decisions as the chairman of the technical committee, and you fail ultimately with the mission as coach to carry the team to the World Cup. If you recuse yourself, go back to Coach Cavalier, my boss. One Maverick.
All right, Mr.
So there you have it. Maverick finally got some B to speak of. Because you know, most of you at Jamaica and now sit down and then bite them tongue and talk around in circle. Maverick finally decided he's had it. The team football team mashup, no World Cup. He's had it. And it's interesting that he came out hard at Speedy. You know, see, I call him Speedy through the thing, you know. Maverick's biggest mistake in this video was saying that this is all Speed and not Ricketts. That's stupid. Seriously. Maverick, they don't understand how this system works, how it should work. In institutions where the person who is ultimately responsible, the one who's wearing the CEO hat or the president hat, they own it. So even if a junior person makes a mistake, they own it. Now, this is not like an owner who ain't going to fire himself. Ricketts is the president. And Ricketts, therefore, have allowed Rudolph Speid to do whatever he wants to do, whenever he wants to do it. And Rudolph sometimes can be very disingenuous. And here's an example, Rudolph. Come in and watch the program. Here's an example. Rudolph said, I didn't bring it in here, but as part of the interview, that every coach who come to Jamaica, regardless of the level, initially he said national team, but then he said regardless of level, in their contract, they can pick the team that they want to pick, which suggests there's no interference. That is not true. Let me repeat that. That is not true. Now, they may have it in their contract. So why did John Wall take you to FIFA, Rudolph? Why take the JFF to FIFA? If you could pick anything that he wants to pick, and why you disband John Wall to go work with Al Grimson and not be part of the under 20 team, the one that went to get them ass kicked 2 years ago. Why was that, Rudolph? Please explain that to me. Where were these 14 players, including Tyrese Saul, who came in the other day, by the way? Those 14 players were denied the opportunity to play for Jamaica because John Wall said the local under 20 weren't good enough, and he was right, given outcome. And you guys basically said, nope, we have a quota, can't work, the local players got to play. They went, got annihilated, and the 14 kids, Wall got their passports, didn't get called in. And then you have the audacity to come say in that public domain, as if we don't know this, that, and I should have played it here actually, but I didn't cut and slice it, that the coaches can pick team of their own volition. Secondly, even when they can do it in their own contract, you guys interfere and tell them some players who should be in the team. And if you say that's not true, then you're not telling the truth either. You guys interfere when they play certain players, and when they don't want to play it, you guys get upset and it causes friction. That's a fact. Those things can be proven easily. So when you come on and make these statements as if they're all accurate, and as everybody's a liar, and what they're saying things don't go so, that's not true. That's not true. There's a reason why Hagrimson left. McLaren put up with a lot of nonsense. Eventually, I guess he got tired, or because he couldn't take the beating, get the failure. But at every step of the way, I don't understand, because everybody keeps saying this, I don't understand how someone said they're a nationalist, they're a patriot, they were part of the technical committee, they're part of the board, I think they're probably part of the finance committee, they own Cavaliers, they're the director for Cavaliers, they're coach for Cavaliers, they're on some board for Monroe, they do something for Titchfield. You're one person. Jamaican and nobody else. No, nobody can do nothing else. Rotted. Man, about 10 jobs. Why don't you do any one of them good enough? And then when he have chance, I said this from day one. He made a lazy hire in hiring McLaren. Lazy hire. When I asked him about, what the coaches you have? Oh, we have this list of coaches. Everybody want the job. It's great, wonderful. And he pick up one old dinosaur who was on vacation and who is retired. And you got a retired outcome. Because he retired the Jamaica team to go watch the football over the summer, retired them to the stands, or they're on vacation. They go, as I say in basketball, they go fishing. They're not going to no World Cup. In the easiest zone ever. And then Rudolph has the gumption, the audacity, the lack of humility, the arrogance, the ego, the narcissism, to then say, change the whole story. Rudolph, you're brilliant, star. Rotted. Rudolph, you are brilliant. Wait, somebody just text me something, said we had 4 coaches in 5 years. Right? I think we had Paul Hall, then Hagrimson, then McLaren. There was somebody else and then Rudolph, right? We had Whitmore. Well, Whitmore is a little bit. Whitmore, Paul Hall, Hagrimson, McLaren, and Speid. Five coaching about 5 years, something like that. 5 coaching 4 years. We turned them over like nothing. But Rudolph failed miserably and then had the audacity to then push out him chest and making the rounds and making the case that he should be national team coach. I can tell you this. I did a couple shows about this before. I have never seen so many comments come in that people are making after the show is done about the situation. And 90% for them, 90% said Rudolph should not be the coach. Rudolph should find another vocation. I'm saying it nicely. Go check them. Seriously. They're not supporting Rudolph for this. And the problem that I have with the whole thing is that the fans, the authority, well, which authorities, they have no control, they have no say. They're going to do what they want to do, what they want to do. They're going to do their own thing. They're not going to listen to anybody. And them say nobody can. And in fact, the way they are, where Rudolph is, nobody can tell them what to do. Let me say this again. Nobody can tell them what to do. They want to do what they do. No matter how much them feel. And the biggest problem is, so let's go into this, as we go forward, something we should be thinking about. The first thing should be, we should clean house. You can't fix this with the same people. There must be a reset. Independent review, performance evaluation, accountability. Because the culture starts at the top. So when Maverick attacked him nonsense, even though he did really well on the thing, on the show he just did, or the video he just did. We must have about, oh no, it's not the president. What are you talking about? The president select Rudolph Speid. The president allow Rudolph Speid to do what he want to do. The president own it. We can't have no Teflon done where things just bounce off. No, the president owns it. I'm sorry. Mr. Ricketts, because I call you Mr. Ricketts, the only person I call Mr. in Jamaica. You failed us. You may be a very nice person. I know nice people ever met. Great person. But you failed us miserably. You're not a strong leader. You're just not. You're not a strong leader. You need to clean house, people. House needs to be clean. I mean, that means if you get no person, if you just clean, house be clean. This all nonsense about, well, who else will do it? So if them decides they're not going to do it, what happen? Nobody can do it? We have this misconception that these roles, these individuals are infallible and that they're the only ones can perform these functions. No, that's nonsense. First of all, here's what I should do, people. Just like how we, I'll get beaten for this, we don't really care. Just like how we fight against diaspora players, we fight against diaspora citizens too, or citizens of Jamaica. See what I should do? That thing we don't have no constitution at JFF, but you have to live on the island for 10 years. And we change that. We don't have enough people at Jamaica for 1 year if we do them kind of role there. They have enough people overseas who qualify for them role there. Enough of them. Me not talk about cranky people. I don't talk about cranky opposition for no job. I don't want a job from nobody. There are a lot of people overseas, because Jamaica export a lot of human capital, intellectual capital, who can come help Jamaica do the job and do a better job than the money might do it there. So what they should do is reduce the requirement about living on the island. The Prime Minister, I beg, message use the word, beg people to come home, diaspora to come home and go invest in their country and come contribute them expertise, especially in engineers. Well, you know what? Make it across all disciplines. Bring them in for the football too. Whether it's coaching, whether it's investing, whether it's part of committees that run the JFF, whether management, bring them in, because it's needed. You have to fix the governance system. Dennis Strong was in the governance process, And the man them can't wait to kick out Dennis, because Dennis want to hold them accountable with the money. And they want nobody control their money. So they pressure Dennis. And then Dennis decided, no, I don't want this pressure no more. I'll leave him alone to fight amongst himself. You have to fix the system, people. It's broken. The governance system is broken. You have to fix the electoral structure. That thing is warped and easily corruptible. Easy to manipulate. You have to fix it. You have to reduce the influence when they coach them. Because people in the coach them years, about the coach them, just let them leave. You have to make sure the qualification standards for all disciplines, whether it's committees, whether it's for the workplace, whether it's for the coaching, they have the right standard. You have to uplift the standard. Paradigm shift. Shift at the margin, paradigm shift. You need independent oversight too. Even in a football boy, I tell you, that doesn't work. FIFA just have a monopoly and corrupt like one. But you have to make sure, Rudolph has to come tell us about, after every tournament, we have performance evaluation. Who is doing the evaluation and we do assessment and we do a look back? So who is doing that now for the World Cup qualification field? Where's the independent body that's doing a post-mortem to substantiate and determine and figure out what transpired, what went wrong, and what the implication should be? Who is doing that, Rudolph? Or Rudolph reviewing himself? Is Rudolph reviewing himself to then figure out what he should do with himself? That's how he's looking at. Look, there needs to be a national strategic plan. I remember sending the Spain plan to somebody in the JFF and they said, throw it away. I'm going to say, all right, not surprised, because I don't stay. Because I don't know everything, I don't know nothing. Jamaica need a 10-year plan. Short, interim, or midterm, and long-term in that plan. If you have a defined identity, people, we don't have none. You have set KPIs, we don't really have none. You have to align, what we transition them from junior team to senior team. It don't really work. How do you don't get coached well? You have to secure funding. The Adidas contract alone can't do it, So that's one contract. This is about structure, people. Not on vibes thing, The camp have vibes. We don't have vibes thing. We're not about the structure thing. You have to have coaching structure. Now, that's the one area I think they have made some improvement, but it still needs significant improvement in the coaching, in trying to enhance the coaching. So if people go through the coaching process and what the criteria for coaching and make sure, end of the day, that them have coaches at different levels, that have been attaining the license required at different level. And I think they should be more aggressive with that too. Now, one thing I realize, hey, Rudolph, you're brilliant, my youth. It's a pity, you're brilliant in the right way. Hey, Rudolph, brilliant, my youth. Hey, when we think about it, we have to laugh, Rudolph, brilliant. Hey, Rudolph. People, Rudolph, will beat me, Rudolph, in the Andrew Peart appointment, I want brilliant moving to Rudolph. I said, Rudolph can't ease after the technical committee as chairman, Right. Andrew Peart, smart youth. I've heard him speak. He's a very smart guy. Hey, Andrew Peart, if you're watching the program, I'd love to interview you. I requested somebody to ignore it. So I'm now request that through them again. Andrew Peart, if you're there, I'm not going to beat you up, Andrew. Just ask a question. Come on, understand where you go with the football. But, I find it interesting, people. Even the Andrew Peart appointment as a technical director, free up Rudolph. I probably not trust the people around him. Free him up for the national coach. Hey, Rudolph, I thought you wanted to be president and a national coach, but Rudolph, you're brilliant, man. What do they talk about Rudolph? They don't know what they do with. We have made some progress in coaching. We have bring people like Andrew Peart who are young enough and have a good runway and good bandwidth to learn and evolve the football program. But will they give them the support he needs? And we need to significantly increase the licenses across the whole coaching fraternity. From B to, we're not talking about C, from B to A to Pro. We don't want to, we only have one Pro license coach now, and Rudolph, I work on him, and a couple of people I work on them. We need to have, I keep using the Spain model, people. Spain have Pro license coach like water. That's why they play football so technical. And when Rudolph talk about them being the most qualified, here's my view on coaching, people. You can't be this is a rudimentary way I think about it. You can't be qualified as a coach until you can coach midfielders. And Jamaica can produce no midfielders. That means you not coach nobody. I'm saying run up and down. Forward can just run quick, man, because skill develop on the field and play some football. We don't have no midfielders that we can say, boy, I have any inkling of being, we didn't call it world class, Premier League class. Not even MLS class, much less. So if you can't do it, you can't coach to me, people. No one say. Can't coach. And can't coach is a blanket way of saying it, but... And here's another thing, Rudolph. I ask a question, Rudolph. You said the most qualified person. Who are the players that you've been coaching for a while now, you have developed, that one can point to as the youngsters at a certain age and you can say, you know what? Rudolph developed a player there and look how him progress and evolve. Because if you have beat your chest about how qualified you are now, it has to be reflected in the people who are under your regime and who you have coached. I haven't seen them. I mean, it's been mistaken because I don't know everything about Jamaica football, but I haven't seen those players yet. We see Toxic Boss have a couple of players, but they are forward too. But they feel like them there. All the man might beat them chest, they're a big time coach, but they feel like them there. People can tell me, can't you know about coach, you know about chunk for. And all them people there, and this person, that person, I don't want to call somebody name, but they don't coach people. I'm going to pick up the best team, the best player them at Jamaica, and then put on star team together and play some football. They don't big time coach people. Come on, man. Rudolph said himself. Rudolph said nothing about coaching until he started coaching school. No, nothing about coaching. People just roll up ball and kick ball around on the field a couple of times and play some in the middle and thing. And that thing work on set piece to rat it. Him just learn of a coach the other day, him say. When him start getting licenses. So that means every time I know Jamaica on license, because him just license not start too long ago, They don't know if a coach. Where the coaching come from? Now, if you are people like Whitmore, who have been exposed to the professional environment, you would have experienced good coaching. He would have played in England, he played in different places, played for Jamaica, and at Simonis. He would have experienced coaching, so that informs his coaching knowledge and how he thinks about coaching. Coupled with him coach the national team. I'm going to say Rudolph are the most qualified coach. And we keep hearing that same thing, and I struggle with what that means. I understand that. Rudolph may be the most eloquent, most articulate. One could say the smartest, but he's not the most qualified coach. Come and see, are we producing elite level? And then Rudolph, he beat him chess. So the president, Rudolph said the president, the best president ever in Jamaica football, and his record stellar. Let's go through that. Mr. Ricketts has been the president, well now, in my third term. We've been to 2 Women's World Cup. And a lot of people say it's despite the JFF, not because of the JFF. They got to get credit because they were there, whether they're existing or not. The under 17 team made their first World Cup. And I said the other day, it's a watered down World Cup. You have to just beat one team in Canada to get there. They made it. But what happened the previous 2 terms? We didn't make no World Cup. In fact, last year, we should have made the World Cup. And it's every year now, not every 2 years now. So it's every year now. You have much more chance to make it. Every year now. Last year, we didn't make it. When it was watered down, couldn't beat El Salvador. This year, we make it. But step on the chest. Them talk about the under 20 team and how dominant they are. They're not going nowhere yet. They won't play in the Caribbean. They're not beat nobody yet. But it's only this year. So what happened to the other 2 years, them? And then the worst of the worst. Because remember the first World Cup, we don't qualify for added this president now. We don't qualify for the last one, we don't qualify for this one. And this one was as easy as the under 17 last year. And we feel. In fact, this is easier than the under 17. In fact, this is easier than the girls. In fact, this is easier than the under 20. This is easier than every and the thing. We just have to turn up and smile and we got a World Cup and we still missed up. And Rudolph was instrumental in that. Then Rudolph will get vexed if you call him out. That make no sense, people. And when it comes to player development, I watch the junior team play under 17, under 20. They need to be coached. A lot of them need to be coached. Can't make 4 passes together. So when you beat the chest about how great they are, them can't make 4 passes. When they meet better team, they must struggle. When they meet better, more physical team, right, and then bully teams in the Caribbean and then bully team for the under 17. When they meet better teams, they're going to struggle because they can't pass the ball. These kids have physical ability. These kids have some skills, but they need to learn how to pass the ball to each other, how to think football. The midfield, when they play that year, in Canada can't pass half line. They're going to score some goal on the under 17. But the under 20, sometimes you watch them play and you say to yourself, look at the defensive pressure and them struggle. You have to change that. The kids are physically mature, even at a very junior age. They need to be coached. The technical ability needs to improve, especially the one who play midfield. So players' development is important. Academies, prioritize midfield development, create transition pathway, formalize diaspora recruiting. Yeah, the recruiting people. I don't talk about the diaspora, this and it not work. Every time me hear them say it. Every interview is like, it don't work. Me hear Avila say it, me hear Adam say it, Maverick say it don't work. You think the JFF know the play of them people? I pay a reactive recruiting them do. Me know that for a fuck. Me know say a fuck. JFF don't know portion of recruiting. People like Devon Porter, me say it all the time, do the recruiting. Go to people DM and talk to them and build up relationship. They don't do no recruiting. They conflicted, so they're not doing recruiting. That's part of the problem. They're harbor recruiters or non-recruiters. So then you won't be able to get the kids at a good age and bring them in and nurture them, get them acclimated to the environment and where they're going to be, how they're going to be playing, or who they're going to be playing with. And so it's very disparate, the process. You pick up kid here, pick up player there. The PICA process to get naturalized take forever. All those things need to be worked on. And you need different people to do it, because them people who do it, them can't do it right. As Rudolph came on board, all of a sudden, man, I get them naturalization. Something take 2 years, all of a sudden, good. Where was Rudolph before? Where was Rudolph before? Rudolph never involved. Rudolph never give a damn. And he might chair technical committee. Did you care, Rudolph? Seriously. Because if you did, those players would have come in. But then they would have prevented a Cavalier player from getting called up the national team, or somebody from Arnett Gardens, or somebody from Mount Pleasant. So you can't do that. You never care. And the last but not least, people say, sorry, they're the media, traditional media. For one, somebody come out and Maverick and say, you know what? This can't work, people. Leave it alone. Where the other traditional, where the observer there? Where the gleaner there? Where's KLS there? Where are them there? All them on an interview and beat them chest and say Rudolph is this and Rudolph is that. Don't people just say, you know what? No, sir. This was Rudolph orchestrated the whole of this. Rudolph hired McLaren. Rudolph was technical advisor. Rudolph was coach. When they go World Cup. No, so you can't feel somebody allow if you come on. And then no one say Ricketts shouldn't be involved. I lie, not tell, man. No, stop it. That's why no beat diaspora say no. Because diaspora people don't understand anything there. Them go in an environment where they understand what good looks like, what excellence look like, and the fact that, you know what? The cronyism thing can't work. Cronyism thing can't work. Have to change. Can't live so all the time. Because you're constant feel and get frustrated. And who left all in the back? The fans them. And Rudolph, I make him in media tour. Rudolph, you're bad narrated. And hey, people, hey, Rudolph, you that but wrong profession. Go to politics, man. Go to politics. You are a brilliant man. Trust me. Me listen to you now, I start laughing. Kick the ball and Rudolph said people create narrative about long ball. In Chase Kadamati and Rudolph said, four-man cramp up. And the man more interview Rudolph. We don't just want a man beating him. We don't stay so. Eh? We don't understand in the start. The interview would have to over. Come and say Rudolph and I say, go, you know. We watch a game. It make no sense. And Rudolph a push back hard, you know. Because he knows that him and the man, they want him, and he knows that boy him can't leave anytime, and then I want him to leave. So him take some liberties when he's supposed to take. It's a fact. I tell the man, say, oh, everything was factual, me not talk about it. Now, I would agree that the host, them should know certain things. But I thought that was rude. Seriously. Yes, they should know. But if you tell the man, the man actually say, when the change was made, and you say, me not talk to you because you don't know who CFA's coming for. But then you don't know what time you make the change, and the man not chastise you about it. Right? Because they must show you respect. If you show them respect, though. Show them respect, though. But at the end of the day, Rudolph, do you truly believe you deserve to be coach for Jamaica after all you do? Make sure we're not qualified. I said it before. It was easier to qualify than not to qualify. Because you're not so arrogant, because you're not so confident, because you don't believe that boy is just foregone, you never do the right due diligence, you never leave every store unturned, and this stone them turn up. Them are burn me, them hot. Let me take some comments. I'm tired. And the speed dash by Merangard, but every other coach had to get Merangard as their assistant. What can go so? Exactly. Sherpat Ben. Exactly. We ask that question all the time. How in the hell does that work? Merangard picked the team. And when Rudolph come in, Merangard named up on the list. All right. Say a new president would fire Ricketts anyway. Yeah, but Ricketts is the president. Rabian. You mean fire Speid? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, he probably would. And no matter how good you are, if you fail that badly, I don't know how you even show your face to be the person. Seriously, you have to be the most arrogant person on Gaza. You're not checking the tea leaf. You lack awareness. You lack awareness. Pressa, what you say? Pressa, you can't hear me?
Yeah, big up.
What you say?
Tell me what you say.
You don't hear me?
Me hear, but tell me what you say.
What do you mean when I say? What I say not clear?
No, I just the other elephant in the room.
What do you mean? What elephant? Elephant, me step on elephant, you know.
The big elephant to drop off, you see that?
Huh?
The elephant to drop off, you see that, and drop both.
No, we're not going to that road. This is all about Jamaica football today. It's all about Jamaica football.
Listen.
We're not talking about any other football today, only Jamaica football we're talking about.
I have a question, right?
Yes.
All right. So since everybody calling for the president to step down, right? Which I disagree with Maverick when he say I'm gonna look at the president. Yeah,
Maverick is crazy. Maverick not talk about it. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Look at the leader, you know?
Yeah, it's at the leader. Yeah.
So like how you work in corporate before in a sense, right? I don't know what the constitution of the JFF is fully, word for word, right? Or the written stuff. So the people that must say Ricketts must step down because them see that the federation in Italy, the president stepped down. I think Buffon was in a capacity, him stepped down as well, and then the coach leave as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure as to how they will appoint a president for their federation, right? But in terms of your knowledge of just companies and whatever the case is, right? Let's say that Michael Ricketts did step down. How do you think they would then appoint a president? Obviously they would have to call an election, right? But how you go?
Yeah, they're part of coalition. Yeah. Unless there's, I don't think the Constitution. I didn't see where the Constitution allowed for who assumed the role. I gotta go check and see who assumed the role. Somebody would assume the role who was in the organization on a temporary basis. I'd have to go check the Constitution because normally what it would do is tell you what the hierarchy is and who would assume the president. So in the U.S. Constitution, for example, or the U.S. setup, for example, it would be the vice president and the Speaker of the House. right? You think it's Speaker of the Senate, but you have the Senate, but Speaker of the House. Here, I got to go back and check in the Constitution as to what's the hierarchy when if the president leave or the person who would be the next president leave. I'd have to check that hierarchy. But it would have to be somebody on the board for the time being, I would assume. And then you may have called a general election or some kind of an election process to for the president. But normally what happens is probably appoint the president for the next remainder of the term, and then you have the vote, actually.
But in unique things like this where there's leadership, more than likely they would have to have something in the Constitution.
Not when it comes to because they're not anticipating, assuming that they'll fail in this. People just resign.
No. What I mean is like, say, unfortunately, Mr. John did take sick, right, in the position as the president, and him can't assume the role anymore. I'm saying in any organization like this where there's leadership positions, right, there would have to be something that if something happened, maybe somebody get put into that position on a temporary basis, and then an election is called. Let's say in the next
yeah. So the board would appoint somebody to be in that role until the next election.
Yeah. But I believe that Ricketts must step down in a sense, right?
Yeah.
I think he should step down alongside many other individuals, right? I think the football obviously needs a change, and I know that Speid was talking about the fact that when asked about if Ricketts should step down, he spoke about the fact that the women would have went to like 2 World Cups and then the under 17 qualifying the under 20, in which that is good in itself, But the bread and butter of Jamaican football, although them really generate money, but they could have been generating more. The bread and butter are the face of Jamaican football is really and truly the men's team, right? And we would have failed on 2 occasions under the president, 2021, and then you look at the situation that we found ourselves in. It's a massive failure. It's probably the biggest failure in any sporting discipline in Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? And that's how the world is viewing it as well. If you talk to people from whether Congo, England, any country, them not have a lot of knowledge about Jamaican football, but if them have a lot of knowledge about the group that Jamaica was placed in, them are gonna say, "Yo, Jamaica should have qualified." No.
Look. I get a lot of people send me a lot of videos and a lot of perspective by different individuals who are not Jamaicans, right? Because we think we live in this box and this isolation where nobody's talking about us. We've been talked about. And general consensus is people don't understand how Jamaica don't get to the World Cup. They still are trying to digest that. It doesn't make any sense to them. They think we have so underachieved, which we all know is the case. And if we here's the thing, people. If we have failed so miserably and no one pays the price, how the hell do we live with ourselves? Somebody got to pay the price. Even if it's a scapegoat, somebody got to pay the price. Somebody got to go. You can't have such significant failure, like total failure. You have lost possibly $12, $13 million. You have lost exposure for certain players. You have lost time and effort and money. And nobody not get fired. Nobody not pay the. What we are talking about, people? They think they're madness. And then the chief architect of all of this, I say, I should be promoted to coach. I should be the coach because I am the best qualified person. Really?
I listened to somebody recently, and I think I don't know if you know a college man, but him did a talk and he must say, Speid made a statement saying that this like Jamaica team would have had more possession against like a quality team or something like so, out of every quality opponent that we would have played before, which I think that was untrue. I think in the Copa America we held possession more against one of those teams. I think it was like maybe Ecuador, one of those teams, right? And I think there was another team as well. So him never right on that. And then again, the host
Hey, Fortune, who gives out, what? Do you have possession, you lose?
Well, yeah, that's true. But to be honest, not Kranky. To me, the bar is low enough because to me, Speid remind me of like 10 Hag, honestly. Right? Because when a man is going to say he never lose the game in 90 minutes, I don't understand that.
Well, look, that's grasping at straws, right? It's trying to justify your existence. It's trying to justify why you should be in a role. At the end of the day, nothing you say, it's not wrong, It's a stretch. It's not wrong. It's a stretch, right?
No, it's wrong in the sense of like, in this scenario, the game would have went to extra time, right? So
but it didn't lose in 90 minutes.
Yeah, but that's irrelevant.
But I know, but you're trying to make a case for why.
That's why, like when Eric Ten Hag lose a game, and Ten Hag after the game come out and say, "But we won the second half, bro." What? What do you mean you win the second half? You lose the game.
Yeah, look, I do think I don't understand how Rudolph and Ricky sold their own season.
And then him even got to the point, right? To say him play 4 games, because them a spread propaganda now, you know. So we tell the propaganda. Them play him play 4 games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And him say him win 3, and then him
I never lose one.
him never lose one. Cause word on the street now, you know, is that them get robbed.
So he's 100% record. He's batting 4-0. He's 4-0.
Basically, you know, and
well, that is not in a lie either. One could say from the video you got robbed, right? So there's no lie involved, people. It's how you manage the information, though, and what are you trying to sell? What are you trying to say? And who are you trying to convince? And are they convinced? All people know is we're not in the World Cup. We're going to be watched from home, and somebody needs to pay the price. That's all life is now. Like somebody do something. Somebody got to pay the price. Who is responsible? Look at root cause. The root cause is the person who had the most input in the entirety of the process from start to finish. I hear my head coach them. I hear Missy when we bring in McLaren. Rudolph Speid was the main one of the attack, but I had the coach.
But as I said to you recently, Kranky, leadership in the JFF is a reflection of leadership in Jamaica, you know? Because I've seen many instances where on either side, JLP, PNP, they've made blunders and massive mistakes that cause people even them life, you know, or things happen under their watch. I'm not saying nobody step down. As much as 1 and 2 Jamaican people might call for them step down, when I really go out there in full force, we say, okay, we need this person to step down. And even if somebody step down in some role, them get reassigned, you know? And that is the JFF, unfortunately, where I don't think there's any pressure there. You know, we talk and say, okay, you know, Ricketts, they must move on, whatever the case is. But I don't think we have that much power in any sense. You know, can we really make them step down? If anything, I think the media in Jamaica underground have more power to kind of bring a change.
So somebody asked Rudolph, what can the fans do? What can the fans get involved? And Rudolph said, spend the money. Oh, nah, so what the team go spend? So all they want are the money. Come like the people and do with diaspora people.
People spend money on them, I feel.
Well, I mean, there's some truth to that, though. Because fans don't support the team enough. Let me give you an example. Here's how bad it is in Jamaica, people. This is bad. This is bad. This is really bad. So I'm watching Karifta today, and it's on TVJ. I'm watching Champs. It's on TVJ. Jamaica is playing a game to go to the World Cup qualification, and it's not on free TV in Jamaica. Really? You're not a footballing nation. You're not even close to it. You think any other big country where football play a game like that at such magnitude end up on free TV? You out of your mind?
But Kranky, I have to go push back against that because, you know, FIFA 30 is a money-making thing, you know, isn't it? So
you figure it out. What are you talking about? But there's zero chance you play like Colombia, Ecuador, England, maybe even some Caribbean country, and Jamaica the game now show up on TV. Are you out of your mind? By regular TV, you out of your mind? We are talking about 4G3. Them things don't happen.
FIFA them corrupt now, Kranky.
Them things don't happen. No, man, things don't happen, man. Nothing happen.
TVJ probably go to them and say, yo, listen, won the game, and they must say some millions of dollars, you know, and probably TVJ in Africa. I would the RTR on some people got him now.
Well, FIFA was showing the game on FIFA.com, so give me that complex. The game was coming on FIFA.com, right?
I mean, it was free on that, so.
Yeah. You know. Did TVJ even give a darn to go inquire? Do we know?
I mean, probably. I mean, them always try to get the World Cup, so I'm not see why they want to inquire this time around, you know? Probably them and CVM care some of the World Cup game them, so probably that's where the focus is on, right? But as I say, it's a sad state of affairs. Normally when people fail to this extent, you don't really have confidence moving forward that you're going to get things correct, you know? So I really have any confidence that moving forward anything is going to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Go watch the Champions League and stuff to see what happened. But obviously Speid it will be the coach, you know, so I guess we just have to work with it.
Yeah, no, I hear you, son. I hear you. Let's see what happens. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand Rudolph. Rudolph is making a case right away. Here's the thing, people. If they had said, look, we're going to do a coaching search. Let's let them fake it, right? We'll do a coaching search. We'll do a coaching search across the globe. We'll identify the best candidates. We'll bring them in. We'll interview them. Qualification would include, for the role, can we afford you? Yeah, Maverick saying want a Caucasian man. I didn't know what that means. That makes no sense, people. You want the best person for the role. Given the criteria you have, what are those criteria may entail, right? You want the best person for the role. The person's persuasion should not matter. That's sort of irrelevant, frankly. But you want somebody who's independent. And can Rudolph be independent? We talk about Rudolph conflict them. Me stop talking about them because they're not going to waste. We don't waste my breath. We have somebody who's independent of the process. So if you bring them all in and Rudolph is part of the process and interview them and then become the best person, you don't have to digest still, but at least you say you fake the process. They're not even fake it. Then give Rudolph the job right at the back.
The last time when them get rid of McLaren leave, them fake the process and then appoint Speed. Because when the man leave, me and them say them go coaching search, find coach. That the man them say no. And them say that then what I say, we'll get back to on Friday with the coach. And by Tuesday, yes, Speed get appointed. So I say,
they made the decision. They made a decision to appoint Rudolph long time ago. Long time ago. No yesterday, no the day before, no January, no December, long time ago. It's all part of the strategy of having just local coaches coach the national team. And Rudolph kept saying, I'm the most qualified person. And the decision was made to put Rudolph Austin and what's his name for the under 17? The former
the kid.
Now where the Downswell? If the decision was made to put Downswell ahead of the under 17, they moved Freddie out and put Downswell in. They moved Rudolph Austin under 20 and put Downswell as an assistant. Then the decision was made about the national coach. There's no doubt in my mind. Because McLaren wasn't going to stay after the World Cup. And Speed always said them plan 2 steps ahead. So Rudolph has been the candidate from day one. From day one.
And remember, I'm always saying he was offered a job for one of the national teams. And I never specified, but you know, knowing him now and
which national team? Cayman?
No man, the JFS man, one of the team them. But looking at how things turn out now, I don't think with his like ego in what I want to go coach under 17 or so. He was obviously the senior team and you know in boastful, which not wrong if him boastful. You know, he's just one person, but there's some left it still.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call.
Yeah,
people. There's zero doubt in my mind that decision to appoint Rudolph of coach was not yesterday or the day before. It's a long, long time ago. From this whole move to local, I bet Rudolph orchestrated. Because I know him will get the job as national team coach. Because nobody him said no qualified more than him. And Whitmore now pursued the job. Because if he said Whitmore the most qualified than Jamaica. So at the end of the day, it was always Rudolph's job to lose or not to lose. Him can't lose something. Because I tell you, say, the JFF no report to no body, including the government. It's a sad state of affairs. Good night.
Kranky, good night.
Good night, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I am doing well. How you doing?
I'm good. You know, it's Easter. I hope you went to church today.
I heard about it. you know what's kind of funny? You know what's funny? You know what's funny about all of that? No, seriously, you know what's funny about all of that? Like, you know, when you're retired, it's weird. You don't think about those things. You don't think about a lot of things. Not the Easter thing, but in terms of one of my mentees was telling me, I was meeting my mentee on Friday, and he said, Thursday, and he said, oh, I have a 3-day weekend. And he's like, you want to enjoy the 3-day weekend? I was like, I have a 7-day weekend. I don't have a 3-day weekend. But anyway.
Yeah, every day is a weekend for you.
Every day is a weekend, yeah. Every day is a weekend.
Kranky, first of all, right? Do you really think you believe in right place, right time?
For some things.
Right situation?
Not for this.
Okay. So you don't believe that this was the right time for Rudolph Speid to be the head coach? In a sense where,
no, he failed. No, he can't be the head coach. He's failed.
No. What I'm saying is, right?
It's the right time. If they had gone to the World Cup and he was part of them as technical advisor and then McLaren move out, yeah, he could probably roll into the role and figure it out. But you can't fail like, what do you mean?
No, meaning if I'm over and I'm in charge of what I see, as in charge of everything, right? As far as the technical director, I hire the coaches, and my aspiration is to become a coach. But I see the ship is sinking, and I do nothing to change course, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simply because I see that this could be the right time for me to step into the position that I always wanted.
Yeah, but I don't think you would give up going to the World Cup, given the monetary consideration, to just be the coach. I think it'd be better if they get to the World Cup and could be the coach afterward, because McLaren would leave. And you could say, you know what, we're going internal. We have moved to the under 20, under 17. They're doing well. So it does work. I was here as technical advisor. I can take a lot of credit for being the technical advisor to get us to the World Cup. I'm the one was behind him, provide him guidance, insisting, not assisting, because that would change in the narrative. He would now say he's insistent and assist to get to the World Cup, and then everything is good.
Yeah,
but when
that's
you
the
fail
thing,
like this,
but-
you can't be involved. You can't. You gotta acquiesce. You can't be involved.
But that's the thing. I never looked at it as even getting to the World Cup, because the simple fact is this. I think by then when he stepped in, it's not even a 50-50 chance. It was just it's a probability that we can.
No,
get
I'm talking before. I'm talking before we failed. So there are two things, right? There is the issue of when we were going through McLaren, using McLaren to get qualified. He was a technical advisor, you know, so you could have taken some kind of credit for us accomplishing that objective. I could have said they failed at the Gold Cup, and I came in and I influenced the situation, and we make it to the World Cup, right? You could have done that, and nobody could have disputed it because McLaren not gonna come out and dispute it. So he would have looked good and maybe assumed the role as coach. When you fail like he did now, both as a technical advisor, as chairman of the technical committee, and as the coach who didn't get us over the line against Congo, I understand the numbers and how much they value versus us, then how can he make a case that he should be the coach? I don't understand.
Because if you look at how he stepped in, right? He just didn't step in and say, you know what, I'm going to be the interim coach. When a person step in and say, I'm going to be the interim coach for these 2 games, that's exactly what I'm going to do. But Speid didn't do it that way. What he did was he said, I'm going to step in to be the interim coach, but also I'm going to build a resume, just in case this thing don't go the way I want it to go.
No. What he did was say, look, I have no international experience. You know, start talking about some youth team nonsense. So, you know, let me get some little fake games. Let me put them on teams I know I can beat. And when I beat them, then my resume, I'll have some kind of a resume, some semblance, not much, but some semblance to say I'm 3-0, 4-0 in regular time. And therefore, you can't say I don't have a resume because I have a 75% winning record. And the one thing I lost, I got cheated, and it's against a better team.
And that's what I'm saying. We're both saying the same thing.
Yeah.
So for me, this was planned out. This just wasn't something he just stumbled upon. You understand what I mean? This was Speid admiration, because from the get-go, he said that his main thing was why not? He think he was qualified to be the head coach. He said it out his own mouth. Right? I can't remember what interview it was. So
he said it more now. He said it. And he said he wanted to be the coach when he was on Sportsmax. He said he wanted to be the coach.
But that's what I'm saying.
So it was orchestrated. It was orchestrated.
Yes.
It was orchestrated.
That's what I'm saying. So this was already planned out.
Yeah. It was planned out.
It was just a perfect time for him to step in to be the coach. Because I think they could have turned this ship around a long time ago by just making the decision of letting go of McLaren. But I just think he's you know what, forget it. This is what I want. I'm just going to take over. And that's what he did.
Yeah, he took over. He runs the JFF. Right. Even all the reporters are saying the same thing. Some of the ones in Jamaica who acquiesce to him all the time, they're saying the same thing. They run the JFF. They say the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be the person to run the JFF if you are in. So he's entrenched in it. This man have like 4 or 5 different positions. So how can you untangle him?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though.
Untangle something like that.
So is Rudolph going to still own Cavaliers while he coach Jamaica? Apparently, what Maverick alluded to, if they bring somebody named Fuzzy in to coach Cavaliers, so he's no longer the coach. He may no longer be the sporting director or in charge of development. Then he's gonna be the owner of Cavalier and coach Jamaica. Is that what's gonna happen? It's interesting. Never heard that before, ever in football, ever.
That's the thing, Kranky.
But we set precedent.
In our culture, he come out and said himself. He said everybody in Jamaica is compromised. I got to listen to what this guy's saying now.
Yeah.
Rudolph Speid speak his mind. he remind me of Trump. He says it as it is, and he's very arrogant.
Well, no, he manages what he says. He's very he's very calculating. He's very calculating. He's very calculating.
Kranky, did you see the interview the other day?
I played it.
Exactly. So for me, a person like this, imagine being an assistant to this guy. You don't have a purpose.
Yeah, what's interesting though in that interview is that he was a dominant part in the interview. So he goes into the interview, should not be in a good place because we got eliminated, and yet he dominated the interview. He ran the interview the way he wanted to, right?
Correct.
And even though some of his answers didn't stand up to scrutiny, the hosts weren't as informed as they should be to challenge some of his assertion and his perspective. The thing about changing Cephas for a center forward because of some cramps was nonsense. The thing about King being cramped when he kicked the ball upfield, but was nonsense. Nonsense. King was kicking the ball up all day.
All day, foolishness.
Yeah. So
And that's the thing. When you watch this game, right? This game is two things. When you was listening to Robbie and them guys speak about the long ball foolishness, right? The game, Congo practically gave us the room to do what we wanted to do, right? We looked more threatening when we were passing the ball out of the midfield, right? Passing the ball from the back up, right? Kranky, my question to you is this: who is analyzing? You remember when the coach went into the stands, right?
Yeah.
To get a shape of the game, to analyze the game, to see where they're attacking from, to see what we're doing wrong. Who is doing the analyzing for our national team? Who's the person? Who's in the stands now? Letting the coach know, hey, listen, this long ball stuff is not working. We look more threatening when we put the ball down. Who is doing this?
Yeah, I mean, I look, here's my view on that, determine, which is you don't need nobody to analyze that. It's so obvious. If you and I determine, we all saw it determined. We all called it out. It's not like Kranky called and determined. We all called it out. Expression called it out, right? Everybody saw it. Everybody's cussing. Why are you kicking the ball away? So the coaches, you got much assistant beside you. You have Donaldson beside you. You have Cody beside you. And they can tell you that, you know what, King. And they have hydration breaks. Hey, King, my youth, stop kicking the ball. Dark Patois, stop kicking the ball. You like cuss people. And nobody now cuss, we kick it away. Everybody get, now when you're kicking the ball away, here's the worst thing about it, determine. The balls you're playing long are nowhere close to your teammate. Nowhere close to your teammate. Yeah. It's not like you're going long, but they have some direction to it. They're not close to your teammate. So why are you kicking it away? And Rudolph says, well, we had 53% possession, 6 points more than them. We could have 65% possession then. From what you're saying. Versus, right? Could have been 65. And the host don't even push back and say, you know what, could have been more. They went on to something else. They are so uncomfortable interviewing him, and he's so dominant in those environments that they don't push back on him. And they allow him to get away with that nonsense.
And you're right, because they're in the interview, it's like this guy just won a position to be in the World Cup. He came in and straight dictated, straight just state his dominance. And if you look at what the interviewer was doing, they didn't quite know which way to move because they was like, hesitant.
They're afraid to offend them because they're afraid. Look, when you're on a radio station like them, it's not like, I understand, you're not like YouTube where it's your program. You can be flexible. You have the reputation of a radio station. You try to comport yourself a certain way. You try to be professional. If somebody who's been interviewed is not operating the same way, it becomes very difficult. If it was on my program, I would be like, look, we got to do this the right way, or don't insult me because then I'm going to insult you back. Stop. Let's be professional. You ask your question, you answer the question. If you don't think I should be factual, as you say, when you can't answer when you made a change, what time, then let's not play that game about who know what time. But yeah, they should know who the players are. They don't do enough research. But you also should know when you made a change because you made a change.
But see, Kranky, it's like this. I remember when you first came on YouTube, you thought I was against you. But no, I saw you from all the way down the street. Most people didn't see you. I know what was coming with you taking over the space. I think I made the first time I called, I gave you a hard tackle when he was talking about the president. I said, right. Kranky, you're too intelligent to say this guy's a nice guy. I don't care if he's a nice guy. He's not there to
But he's a nice guy, though. Look, determined. Determined. There's some people determined you meet.
I'm a boss. I ain't got no time for this.
Doesn't mean I can't beat you. But I'm just saying, he's determined. You have to meet him too, I'm talking about. I'm telling you.
But Kranky, nice don't get us.
I agree. That's why he ain't talk. That's why he don't pick up the phone for me anymore. He ignored me.
You know what I don't like to in this space, right? Because I think as YouTubers that create this platform, you, the pressers, the Ryan, the JD, the JT, y'all are all compromising this. And why I say that? In our country, when you go to Jamaica, you step back at least 20, 30 years. I'm talking about in the mind, not not the physical things that you see, the hotels, the roads. Even the roads is not there yet, but it's getting there, right? But when it comes to the mind, we're not there yet. This is why you have this guy, what's his name, Maverick, and these guys that can take over the airways, right? By polluting the mind of our people because you're just not there.
But once again, determine. Hey, New Wave, thanks a lot for the super chat. I appreciate it. He said Speed must go, take Long Ball King with him. Go ahead, determine. Go.
And people are saying King can be captain. But anyway, that's for another day. Tell him to be captain
Of which ship?
Yeah, exactly. Tell him to be captain of
the straight of our moose. They go straight of our moose.
Probably. But listen, Kranky, and why I say that you guys are compromising this thing is because when it comes to the diaspora, right? The money is here, right? Let's keep it 100. The money is here, right? And you guys have a lot of influence and a lot of power. If you, JD, JT, what's his other, Ryan, everybody come along, get together, and come up with a construct and a plan to stray the masses. Why y'all can't get that together, Kranky? Why y'all can't?
So I have a question for you. Do you know Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith?
I know Jason Whitlock is. I don't like that guy too
right.
much.
And you know Stephen A. Smith, right?
Correct.
And you know they have constant beef, right?
Correct.
That's Jamaican YouTubers.
But Kranky, it's an agenda. Do you think everybody in the Democrats party get along?
But see that part. But see, these are all entrepreneurs, right? They all do their own thing. They won't come together. Everybody's trying to outcompete each other. They won't come together. It's not happening. It's a good thought, and you would think that people who have a similar objective would come together to work to achieve the objective. It's not happening.
Kranky, so we're talking about for the greater good.
I'm telling you, there's no. The greater good is the people. Look, I would love for that to transpire and happen. I would love for people to understand that the football is the key and the football is the main thing we're trying to change. But people don't think that way. People think about their own small universe, and that's how they operate. Some are very toxic. They would say I'm toxic, but some are very toxic.
Yeah, that means we don't want change. That's exactly what it means because
it's not you don't want change. The question is
everybody that work for me that I like. But I'm not going to railroad anyone. It's the one agenda. Right. It's one agenda, right? And even if the agenda is for 2 years, you guys can hold it together for 2 years. Because right now the football is in a mess. If this guy think he can be coach and all the mistakes that he made, nobody's losing their job. Where does this happen at?
Yeah, look, I mean, some YouTubers are. Look, the YouTubers are also in different places, right? If you're in Jamaica, people are very concerned about implications to them if they come out and are too harsh in their criticism, right? And frankly, some of it is warranted. Whether it's access, whatever it is, people are very concerned about becoming what would deem to be confrontational with certain persons in certain environment because they're afraid of the repercussions. That's probably understandable. The loudest voices, that dissenting voices sometimes, are the ones that are more remote because they feel comfortable in their space. The ones who are closer, for different reasons, don't want to take up that mantle of being the critic, of challenging, of expressing their consternation and concern because they're concerned about implications. So I'm not going to sit here on this high horse and says there's no legitimacy to that, because there is.
But you notice the names that I call, right? We know our culture. I never call anyone that's in that space because I know the repercussion of the things that they say while they're there. Right. So this is why I call the YouTubers that's here. And the YouTubers that's here also, if you look at the different, when you go on your platform and you look at when you talk about the Speed being the head coach and you look under the comment, majority is like, hell no, he cannot be. Then you go on Orion, the same thing. And you go on JD, same thing. So we're talking about the masses that agreeing with y'all. So you all have the masses, and as I said, the numbers and the money is right here. The money is in the States. The money is in Europe. So if y'all can come together, form an agenda, right? You will have people that don't, even if it's $4 a week, $5 a week, the movement can happen.
Yeah, look, I think we have to figure out if there's it's very difficult to influence FIFA affiliated bodies, right? You saw what happened in Brazil, which is a perfect example. The court says something have to change. FIFA says, hell no, nothing will not change. The courts have to renege. It's going to ban Brazil. That's how FIFA is. So you can't change. FIFA have their own laws and their own way of operating, their own bylaws. They have their own supposed electoral process, which they sign off on. You can't change that. You can make a lot of noise, like you see what happened in Europe, and try to form the Big Six and not have relegation, and people lost their mind and fans push back and they acquiesce. You don't have it with FIFA. FIFA's a different animal.
Kranky, you know this, right? It's just like my business. I don't let white people in my business. I solve it myself. That's what I
Yeah, but they're in the business.
Hold on, Kranky. I don't say nothing about the FIFA. I didn't say anything about any of that.
But I'm saying, how are you gonna influence change unless you move people out?
You can't influence change if you have the masses, right? JFF is a begging organization. Let's just keep it real. You understand? Without sponsorship, this thing will crumble. There won't be any more JFF. This is now when you pressure these people, you can sit around the table and say, you know what, this is what we need as we're going to continue to put on the pressure. But in order to put on the pressure, the masses got to be behind you guys. And they can't be behind Ryan at 5,000, you at 10,000, JD now y'all are divided. The money is here in the States. It's not in Jamaica. And if it's in Jamaica, they don't even want to mess with the JFF. This is why they hired Dennis Chung. Dennis Chung was the one that brought most of them there, the sponsorship there, because they didn't trust Rudolph Speid and the president. So let's just be honest. Kranky, you know this stuff, man. You are with Deloitte and Touche. Come on, Kranky.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, determined. I have taken the big picture look of the entirety of this. It's very difficult to influence FIFA organizations. This is not like this is not like Italy.
Kranky, but why are you going back to FIFA?
The reason I'm going back to FIFA because if you want meaningful change, you got to move people out. You can't be on the periphery just making a lot of noise. It's just like
meaningful change is affecting somebody's pocket.
Yeah, but wait. Determine. Here's what you guys are missing. What the JFF basically said is that people ain't turn up to the games anyway. You ain't producing no money. So what the hell you want to be asking us to do X, Y, Z? You're not country. You only country. Wait. Here's what they said. Here's what he said. And Rudolph said in the interview the other day. When Messi came, y'all came. Y'all didn't come to Jamaica playing until they played in the last game, trying to qualify against Curacao. You guys didn't turn up at the stadium, so you can want to run things. I'm going to interpret what he's saying now. We can run things and tell us what we do. We're not support we. Don't go away. That's the way I view it. Don't go away. We can't tell what we do. We'll do what we want to do. No can't do nothing about it. Can't not support we. Monetary. No attack. That's what they must say.
Kranky.
Trust me.
And I get it. You're right. When you go to the games, probably about 2,000 or 3,000 people show up.
And in the States, it's worse.
Show up in the games.
In the States, it's worse. And we have tons of Jamaican here in the States, it's worse.
No, but this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying about in the States is worse. What I'm saying is you have to have the masses behind you. Then you create some kind of agenda. You write these different sponsorship that goes towards the JFF. You have to cut off the lifeline. The lifeline for them is the money. If you look at what they did with FIFA, this is why Dennis Chung flew in there so quick, because they needed the money to survive.
Right, but determined, you're making the case that we can control that, and we can't. We can't.
What you mean?
Here's a misconception. Here's a misconception you have. Here's a misconception you have. A couple of things. They get money from a different sources, right? They get money from the government. They get money from FIFA.
No, that's
listen. The government, FIFA, sponsorship, gate receipts, principal sources of money, right? The government gonna get them money. That ain't gonna change. FIFA can get the money.
The government does nothing, Kranky. The government give them less than 50 grand a year. That's nothing.
It's 50. But I forgot what the number is. But the government give them money. FIFA give them money, right? That did their sponsorship, supposedly somewhat lucrative, and then they get gate receipts, which is not much.
Gate receipts, that's nothing. I'm not
right. So tell me how we affect them monetarily, because you know the thing. Wait, hold up. Jamaican merchandise I bought by other people other than Jamaicans, you know.
I know, but
Adidas don't sell them things in Jamaica and the Domain, huh?
But yeah, no, I agree with you.
Okay.
Most Jamaicans don't support when it comes to the merchandise. It's white people that does that.
Yeah.
Especially look what they did with this whole Marley thing. That represent the so-called the Jamaican culture, the Rastafarian culture. They know what they were doing. Okay. But if now you have a campaign, right, with the masses behind you, and then you have everything outlined, why not to support this federation?
Determine.
Kranky,
You determine.
in this
Determine.
country,
You don't know. You
always
don't.
happen.
You
In
know.
Europe, it always
Determine.
happen.
Determine. You don't know your people. Determine. Let me tell you about your people. Let me tell you about people. Tell them stay. When in Jamaica, the government decided they're gonna boost the wages for the opposition and the party in power. People lost their mind. And we go past the era circle, people are protest for about 2 days. And then go with their business. Then triple their wages, determined. This is a country wide now. Let's determine this. Listen, they triple their wages. Determine this. Determine. You know, listen. Determine. You're so set in your ways about how you think this should be done. You can't think outside anywhere. Your mind is fixed.
This is why I said the masses. Kranky, let me tell you
What
something.
masses? We don't have no masses.
Hold on. Kranky, let me tell you something about your show. Your show doesn't hit Jamaica the way it's supposed to. It doesn't. It doesn't. Shake,
No, I agree. I agree.
No, let's be real about it.
I
It
agree.
It doesn't shake or rock Jamaica. The only show that somewhat have some kind of effect in Jamaica is Ryan.
Okay.
'Cause when I was in Ryan, a lot of people play his show.
Okay.
Right. What I'm saying is the masses of when it comes to the critical thinkers, when it comes to the free spirit, the free mind, is here in the States or in Europe. When you look at your platform, everybody is agreeing that Speid is not supposed to be there. You go on to JD, is the same thing. What I just said to you was the money is here, the support is here. You cannot get money and support from Jamaica. It's not going to happen. Let me tell you when it's going to happen. When they see that this campaign is serious, that's when they jump on board. That's how my people are.
But when you say, so I'm not trying to understand you. Were you saying that we should generate funds and then that fund goes to them because they're going to address our concerns?
Cohesively as a whole, right? If you come together here, right? It's just you and all of these 5 different bangers, because it's only 5 different platforms I can see that really generate numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all come together and say, okay, listen, we need to have an agenda. I know some of us don't like each other, that's fine. But our agenda is cutting some of the blood that goes towards the JFF, right? Because in order for all this nonsense to stop, this is the only way we can do it. It's not about
determine. I totally disagree with you. The JFF was broke after Schaefer, broke as dog after Schaefer. It still survived. Broke as hell after Schaefer. They still survive. No, they would not let them. Because here's the thing you don't understand. Determine. You're talking about my survival. So I should give up my survival to appease you because you're going to pressure. The JFF don't understand pressure. If the JFF stay in power when they fail so miserably, there's no more pressure going to get them out of power. Zero. If they stay in power and don't have any sense of thought that, you know what, this is ridiculous. How can we still stay in? We have no shame. We have zero shame. We're not really patriots. We're about ourselves. We're not nationalists. We're about ourselves. It's about our agenda, our ambition. If they don't leave because of that, then there's no way in hell we can pressure them to leave. Zero. I'm telling you, none. Determine. The president of Italy asked if the person who had FA in Italy, you should resign, you make the World Cup. He resigned.
Kranky, you know what? In my country, nobody's going to resign. Why? Why do you think no one will resign after they're saying that the federation is so broke? Like the federation does have but all
the federation have an 8-year contract with Adidas. They ain't broke. They ain't gonna be broke for a while soon.
But this is what I'm saying to you. That's a narrative. That's the first thing.
Determine. I can't agree. You and I are gonna agree on the public domain. I am not going on that route because I'm not doing anything that's gonna be effective. It will not be effective. Trust. I know it's a good idea on your part. I know what you're trying to say. It cannot have the effect you want it to have because the party you don't have enough clout. You don't have enough control to materially affect them negatively, so they will want to acquiesce and say, you know what, we need to conform. It's not happening. I don't see it. I understand what you're saying. I don't see it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't see it.
Yeah, well, for me, I'll end on this. For me, Kranky, when it comes to change these days, in today's era, probably in your era, it was placard and pickets and demonstration, all this BS.
Yeah.
Nobody ain't doing that no more. In today's era, is cutting the lifeline, your blood veins, which is your dollar, your money, your support.
We agree, determined.
This is today's era,
determined.
Right?
We agree with that. We agree with that. So money talks. Money talks.
Exactly. When you can, when I see evidence of it based on what FIFA did to them, and they jumped in and got Dennis Chung, the money is important, right? My thing is this: nothing beats a failure than a try. But you guys can't come together. So this is why I said the YouTubers are complicit in this thing.
Okay.
We don't love the football. So anyway,
All right,
thank
all right.
you.
I appreciate the call, sir. I understand the frustration, but I appreciate the call.
All right.
Bless up. All right. Somebody tried to call me earlier. Let me see if we can call them back, FIFA. And then we'll close on the program. If they're not sleeping. Hello? You called earlier?
Yeah, man.
What do you have to say?
You hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Come on, big up yourself. You know, so over the past couple of weeks, I get to enjoy the program still.
Oh, yeah? What you mean over the past couple of weeks?
No, man, because honestly, so many times I just used to just listen, go away. But no, I listen all before I go on bed, I just go on, listen to the program. And when I forgot, when I get to finish it, I just start to pick up back.
Okay.
The night before. Yeah,
See that, people? That's good advertising. Good advertising. Thanks. I appreciate it. It's good advertising.
Yeah, but anyway, nah, still long. So I get off a couple points. All right, so before they get through to the program this week, so me listen, I have to quote the message them. One of the messages them I talk about, him say we don't play position ball, and him other man say we don't play long ball. So how would I describe his style of play? Him still never answer the question. Because I said him just get the team for 4 match and him can't describe how other coaches set up them. I just never think him answered.
So let me jump into that. Let me just say this about that, which is he's trying to change the narrative that he's a long ball, he's a counter-attacking transition football. But the way he coached Cavaliers, you'd assume that's what he's going to coach, right? He's saying he does it to win. So we could have said you'd keep the long ball in that game because you want to win. Right?
So the style of play is winning football and play.
Yeah,
that's what I got from him. Because so Mr. Tracy, I'm a general. Well, what Mr. Tracy said about the best football mind and this and that, I said to myself, every time I watch Cavalier don't really. When I watch them, I don't want to watch them again. So if this way I get a Jamaica, then I think it's different from who we get already. And so said, so done.
Yeah.
The next question I'm going to put to him was that if every time a superior team faces an inferior team, the inferior team coach or the player is supposed to be blameless because they face a superior team. Because he make a point, and it is not an empty point. He might try to downplay it as if it was like he must say team squad value 50 and
right.
Congo value 100 and a triple lead. You don't say that unless you say, boy, them do well because the team triple them. And when time the question was put to him about it don't mean say them blameless, but nothing. I'm gonna tell you why, but nothing. Them Congo beat Cameroon and Nigeria to get here. Bro, Oshimen alone, they say Oshimen they don't want just the same one 300K a week or 350 a week. Oshimen would be $100 million striker signed by one of EPL team them. So Oshimen alone, if he data correct, and Congo on the value 150, one ball up on Nigeria. I almost would say 60%, 70% I value the squad. And the DR Congo team beat Nigeria and Cameroon. So this value argument I come with. No, Mr. Speid. The same team we are use against, which is Congo, them get by a team that were triple their value as well. See? All right, the next thing. This criteria thing when I come with, it was really annoying. And let me tell you about my problem with Mr. Speid as the coach, because this illusion that people in are like, oh my God, Speid out like your previous caller, bro. And I mean, just the masses. Like a certain people who are the point, when we realize it is you and whosoever I'm telling for group up with, need to go to the voters them. The people in the parish have a vote to put in the president. And they say start from we could have numbers little more. We don't have a vote. And then the masses have a vote, Determine him, right? Determine.
Yeah.
And we the masses have the vote. If you want Kranky to try get in the ear of somebody, send him to compare the parish president then.
No, I think what Determine is saying that the persons in the YouTube space who he believes some of them have influence, and he mentioned some who have more influence in Jamaica, they can come together collectively, come up with an agenda about what direction to go in, and then figure out how to more effectively create change or work to create change in the organization What I'm trying to impart to him is that doesn't really work with FIFA organization. Nobody changed them unless they want to change, because FIFA is a whole separate body. It's like FIFA. It's like Monaco in France. They run their own government. They have their own territory. They do their own thing. The government can't change it. I mean, Brazil learned the hard way about that. The government can't change FIFA. As FIFA organization. Only FIFA can do so, and FIFA is very negligent in doing so.
Very.
Yeah.
But as you say, still him so strong power him. That's it. Yes, you're repeat about 3 or 4 times, but maybe when you listen about the program, I realize that, because honestly, to him I continue even I say that. It determined. So I'm live up in him. All right. I'm going to adjust Mr. Speid as a coach, because to me, a teamwork, right?
Yeah.
Here's my problem now. On one side, what I explain to you now, on one and understanding, let me just get into it. Bala X playing at EPL. Bala Y play in the Jamaica Premier League. On paper, the Bala where the Premier League, which is Bala X, is supposed to be a first preference for coming in a team, because he must have some form of quality for playing in the Premier League, which is the English Premier League. But I feel like Mr. Speid too much over the side there, because the international football is a different animal altogether. We have a baller, for example, where I play for Manchester City, but it make it be Erling Haaland, and you have a youth to play in the Norway League, a foreign inferior league, where for one reason or another outperform Erling Haaland all the time when they play international football. So, for example, now get more specific now. And you include, you know the beat now too. Over the last 10 to 12 or 15 games, Ronaldo Cephas almost dangerous attacking player. We're best attacking player. Those an average performance is the last couple of games. I feel like say Mr. Speid carry him because he knows him effective, but Mr. Speid never ever to me trust him to start. And when I want to admit it or not, because Cephas now playing a championship to get promoted in the league, or him they want established Premier League team, or he even said they are legal, and it is wrong because international football, I can't explain myself. But you have some players with us play above or out of them skin when it comes to international football. Look at my baller. I'm a Manchester City fan. Phil Foden, top talent. Phil Foden played 20 games for England. 19 of them are some awful performances. Up to today, Phil Foden not translate in Manchester City farm in our England shirt. While you have the likes of Morgan Rogers, Gardner, Gibbs White, Eze, where people see as lesser talents, were sure for England. So, me no want Mr. Speid stuck in ways, and I feel like say automatically if I care Brooks play for this, and Hart play for Tottenham, Mr. Speid.
So Carla, may I check you for a second?
Go ahead.
How many championship players does England call into their squad?
Really?
How many championship players get into the England squad?
0.
Most of them come from the Premier League, right?
Right.
In fact, even the one in Italy, they don't even look on them. Most countries focus on players. Listen, Carla, you had a long solid look away now. Listen now. Most countries focus on players in the top league. Tim Vickery, you know what Tim Vickery is?
Is that a commentator?
He's a South American journalist who covers Brazil football. You hear what he said the other day?
Yeah.
You hear what he said the other day?
Mm-hmm.
The people in Brazil, they get upset if they're playing in the national team who don't play for the best teams in the world. Let me repeat that again. They have Gomez play for Wolves. They get upset when I play against the national team who play for like Wolves or play for West Ham, which Paqueta did. Now, they'll be a little bit concerned about locally players because they can see them every day. It's about what level you play at informs if you get into a team or not. You may not like it. You may say Speid is wrong. You may say they are aberrations. But you can't use aberrations as normality or average because it's not. Most countries, most players who play in the Premier League, if they're from a country other than England, they play for the national team. Go look at all of them. When Arsenal have their break, almost every player play for the national team. Even Lewis Kelly, who's not playing nowadays because he ain't get no game time, but they play for the national team. Lewis Kelly broke into the national team, he get into the national team right away. Your boy, you talk about Man City, your left back, Riley, in the national team already, isn't he? Can him defend himself? He's more of an 8. They get into the national team right away. They play for the best team, get to the national team, and the best league. That's how it works. Right or wrong, that's how it works. It's hard for the player who played a lower league to prove that they're better Because the level of competition they're playing against is not as good, so it's hard to judge them. Now, you're right about some players come to the national team. Like, we know this. We see this. Cephas wasn't getting no game time at the club. Did he produce more than, say, the prodigal son? You guys know who that is.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not saying it works all the time, but you have to have some kind of standard and basis to use. What I disagree with the criteria is that when you're talking about you got to be contract with top 20 league and contract with you have to play in the top 20 league, and then you're saying you play the top league in the country. There's a big disparity between being a top 20 league and playing for your country. Your country could be ranked 200 and have top league saying can play, but somebody who play in the 21st league, you say can't come if they don't play for the national team. Doesn't make no sense. Doesn't make no sense.
Yeah,
but I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying what you're saying is more aberrations, not norm.
True. But yeah, so all right, so we understand each other.
Yeah.
So we don't have to argue about it. Because we also you Kirk as well, but me just want him to just stick up this value thing or which league you're playing and just focus on what them actually are doing. And
here's what you guys didn't challenge. Here's what wasn't challenged. Here's what wasn't challenged to diffuse his argument. When he said whisper and Pinnock comparison, and he basically said, oh, Pinnock play for a Premier League team and therefore they train a certain way, so they always prepared. Right. But they then say in the academy or Leicester don't do the same thing. Right?
No, Zidane said Leicester is a big enough team.
Yes.
And yeah, so Zidane did challenge him. What a rubbish argument.
No, what I'm saying is that the academy at Chelsea is high level academy, even though it's an academy.
It is one of the probably top 5 in the world.
Yeah, but I don't think Zidane pushed as hard as he probably should to refute the argument. Yeah.
Kranky, stop.
Why?
Based on how you start the program, like could I tell you reflect? Because in your last 2 show them, you were like the host read this and the host read that. But in a decent program, you say you feel like say, all right then, when I reason why I speak would I be like that because him know say if them upset him, or they're afraid that if they upset him, he might just come off and them don't want that. So them have to try.
Well, that's true. That's true. They were trying to try. No, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, so
that's
when
fair.
Like I said, the host them now in a sense of them intelligent. Trust me. Zidane, if Zidane could have him way, the program that could chat.
Yeah.
Best believe that. And last thing, me don't want that man when me say all right then. Me in the camp, I say the imported ball of them or the heritage ball of them or no. But you see the camp where I say if they're not much better than what we have, we not have to kill out ourselves or we not have to get them. But kind of over the part there. Because but means within the camp where I say local. But the people them what do say, what makes sense I get X player if he can perform this outperform this a local player. I agree with the said argument. You think that's fair or not?
I no, because there's a division there, right? So if you live overseas like I do, right? I'm a citizen. I'm a citizen in the US.
Okay.
And somebody's gonna tell me that I go for a job with somebody else, and I'm 5% better than them, and they say they use the qualification criteria and percentage to judge who gets the job. We're both citizens. We both under the Constitution of Jamaica, our US. We're both citizens. We have the same rights and privilege. We'll give them a blight because they're worse than me, but you say it's only 5%. That's not fair. Use a criteria, which is egalitarian, which is equal, and you judge us. So if you say, you know what, I need a right back, but you play left back, not gonna work. Or my right back, after can defend, like Trent Alexander-Arnold, good offensively, can defend, you can defend, yes. But don't break them up because one is local and one is overseas. Treat them the same. Same way to assess them. Because here's what we're saying. You're not a citizen like me. I have certain privileges because I'm born here. You're not a citizen like me. People like me can't even conceive that, given where we spend our time now and where we live. We can't even conceive. That to us is heresy in the US. Why should it be different in Jamaica? When the Constitution says I have the same rights as you do. Makes no sense. It's illogical, frankly.
All right, I'm going to end on this. I'm going to end on this. We're all humans, Kranky.
Yeah.
And as humans, we have emotions. And as humans, based on the environment you're growing up, you have some inherent bias.
Right.
And we now go fault the JFF if they could choose between Kranky and Highgate. And pick Highgate because Highgate is a local, because Kranky is not much better. As a human being, we understand me, myself, have preconceived bias. I'm emotional. May I give them the leeway there, as a human being. Because all have a bias.
So nobody in the US and Jamaica should complain if a Caucasian can pick over them and they're similar in capabilities, and the Caucasian is just a little bit worse than them. We should never complain.
Would I understand as a person?
I wouldn't, but you would. I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
No, when I say wrong, all right, but I understand why it takes place.
Okay.
Big up yourself.
Thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. And people, that's how people think a lot of times, actually, right? I mean, if you're in an environment where you then become the minority, when you're not the immigrant and not the person who was born in that country, it's a whole different way to view things, you know. So our thoughts will never be aligned in those situations because there's a view that the local should get preference. Then don't make me a citizen then. Make me be a permanent immigrant. Because if you're saying all this is very equal in the Constitution, then you can't have any preferences. Doesn't make sense. Right? We have as Brain Drain is saying, say egalitarianism versus inherent or preconceived bias. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, and we're trying to kick out and kick down and kick away preconceived bias. We're trying to judge people just based on facts and circumstances, not based on some preconceived notion of what they are, what they should be. And this whole notion that if you're local, you're more committed, which is a bunch of crap. Because some people will say, you can't do nothing for them. But when your Englishman said Jamaica can't do nothing for them. You know? And frankly, Jamaica can't do nothing for them except get them for World Cup and get some visibility. Because they have to fly much miles to come here. Some of them, like Robert, to pay them one ticket in some instances and go through some discomfort. Some of them fly, come over and then get injured like Latty the last time he come. Some of them fly over and then get tired and go back, them can't get no game. Then probably I'll lose them spot. They sacrifice too. So we have to think about that when we think about, well, they're not committed or they're not born in Jamaica. I mean, did Expression and Robbie something about Jamaica? People? They probably didn't go to Jamaica that after. They didn't say about Jamaica. They said we. They didn't say they play, we play. They think of themselves as Jamaican. Why are we dividing ourselves? You know what I find funny about us as people, black people in general? I see the Jason Whitlock and the Stephen A. Smith and the Hoogley, all these people fighting or in the media just fighting. And it's just like, why can't we all just, there's nothing to critique, nothing wrong with critiquing people or challenging people or reacting to the situation, but why is it always going to be a fight? Why can't we just all like work together for a common cause like Determine was trying to impart to us? Like we should be, as YouTubers, come together. But I'm telling you, there's more in fighting there than anything else. So that ain't going to work. But end of the day, go back to the topic of the JFF and Rudolph and Ricketts and all. I mean, we saw where the general manager, I mean, not general manager anymore, but the manager, Roy Simpson, we heard what he said when speaking at the Business House event. We start calling out, everybody's asking the same question. The locals in Jamaica are focused on the diaspora situation don't work, so XYZ. Good night. Hello?
Kranky.
Yes, go ahead. Hello? Hello? I'm not hearing him.
Are you hear me?
No, I'm not. I wasn't hearing you. I'm hearing you now. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Right. All right, I realize, go back to our topic, but you did say something earlier, well, just know that I want to speak on or pose some question towards you about.
Okay.
And it's the whole notion about nationality or citizenship.
Yeah.
Right? All right, so you're an American citizen, and did you know when it became lawful for so-called dark-skinned people to become citizens of America?
What do you mean? I know when it become? Yeah, I mean, yes. What? But wait. So we're going back to slavery and emancipation and the Civil War. We're going back to those. Why is that relevant to this conversation?
No, the that's a question.
But it was no different in Jamaica. Jamaican weren't citizens either.
No.
Jamaicans were slave, right?
Yeah, but there's a reason why I bring up the topic.
Okay.
Don't try to put your view power. Me, I try to say it. Okay, don't know. Me, I could talk.
Okay, go on.
All right, fine. The reason I bring up the topic is that people don't realize that the whole notion of what nationality stands for change to a political agenda since the 1800s, right? Nationality normally, or before that time period, is decided by who your father is, right? So whoever your father is, that's who you are. Just like that's why them call sperms seed or seed, sperm, or whatever, right? Because whatever seed you plant, and they said tree, you get. If you plant the apple seed, you're going to get an apple tree, and I get a mango tree, right? And that's the said analogy behind it. You are determined by your father, your forefather, right? Which you go back to a patriot mean, because you're basically standing for your father's nation, right? That's how it goes. But they changed it in the 1800s in America, right? To basically, if you're born in a country, you can become a citizen, right? It was not like this before, right? It wasn't really like that. The nationality did not decide. It wasn't not decided by that. So, and even now, we have 195 countries existing in the world, and there's only 30 to 35 countries that exist in the world that sees nationality or citizenship based on where you are born. And majority, more than 90% of those countries are in the Western world, which is where slaves were basically given the so-called rights. They gave us this so-called rights or citizenship ideology because they wanted to take us from our roots, our foreparents, who our foreparents are or were. Because if you ask most people today, who were their foreparents and what nationality were they before slavery, they can't tell you. They say Africa, but Africa is not a nationality because you have so many nations or tribes in Africa. So you realize that majority of the people that will accept this ideology is very lost and confused as to who they are. You get what I say? So the mindset them have now with them all hell-bent and them not born in Jamaica or them not rated makes them not the same person as you is a slavery mentality that they got from the slave masters, right? Because that them take up now. So even though you know left God America now and you have a child in America now, I'm not going to tell you say you pick them on a Jamaican because they were born in Jamaica. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, and that happens a lot, right? That happens a lot. But also, U.S. is trying to get rid of birthright citizenship for certain people, right?
Right, they are trying to get rid of that. No, because the truth is, birthright citizenship is not a nationality. Citizenship is different from nationality, but people basically put them together as one. Your nationality go back to your kinsmanship, your ethnicity, who your father is. Citizenship really is based on where you are born, or they have different ways of getting it. People could have buy them. Go back to Roman Empire. This is where the ideology come from, you know. The Romans, them used to give other nations the ability to be a part of their culture, part of them system, right? So you could have be any other nation and just be a Roman citizen. You could have buy it if you have money, just like people in Jamaica. If they have enough money to buy American citizenship, they can do it. Or they married a woman.
Not only America, you can do it, especially in the Caribbean, some Caribbean nations. You know, St. Kitts.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying. In the slave region, that's where that is established mainly. Most people, right? Most people, that's not our region, the Caribbean, Central America, North America, South America. That region is where that established because, again, the slave master put that out there, which we're accepting. But what we really say is your foreparents is important to who you are and where you stand. And if we were going by this overall in the world, majority of the people that we see play football across the entire world, they go back to one set of people, one family. Majority of them go back to the west coast of Africa. If you look on France team, if you look on Belgium team, if you look on even England team, right? Most of these people go back to a specific nation of people, right? They're just scattered over the world, taking on different citizenship. So we have said people, like what they...
So why so many Jamaicans keep saying about the us versus them, the diaspora versus local, the local should XYZ versus diaspora? Why we have that narrative then if we're saying some people in Jamaica believe that we're all one?
Okay, because you grew up in Jamaica here. Okay, the Jamaicans and your born in the country makes you special, but if you look at that again, that is basically rubbish because there's no logical sense nowhere in the world that many people can be one people. You cannot have many nations being one nation. right? Out of many, one people is utterly rubbish. It doesn't make any sense logically. But we were taught that growing up, and we have accepted that as a people. So once you're born here, if you're Chinese and you're born here, we don't call Chinese them Jamaican. We say, oh, Chinese. And white people are white people. But citizenship wise, they look at them as, oh, them are Jamaican citizens are rated, but they see they accept that they're not the same people. You get what I'm simple say? So
No, I understand saying, but I think out of many one people is a little bit different, more nuanced to that, right? Than just the persuasion of the person. It's almost like you're trying to bring people together. They're all from Jamaica, right? So you're trying to say they're one, not necessarily in terms of persuasion, but in terms of mentality, in terms of culture, in terms of all these things that inform who you are as a human being, versus saying you are a black person or a Caucasian person or you're Indian. I think that it's more conceptual than just literal, the way you're thinking about it.
No. That's not what they're saying, right? What they're saying is that out of many people comes one people.
Well, you can be interpret. As I'm saying, you can interpret that in different ways. You can interpret that differently, can't you?
No,
because we know literally you can't if you're black, you ain't gonna become white tomorrow. It ain't happening.
No, right. But I say nationality cannot be that. You cannot have nationality that way. It cannot become many nations, become one nation. So
but here's what you have to understand. Here's what you understand. A lot of these things change over time. You'd be surprised how this works over time. Like there's some things in English like when I was growing up, the use of good and well, you couldn't say you're playing good. You're playing well, and then that changed over time, right?
Yeah, man.
It didn't make sense. When I was going to school, you couldn't say you're playing good. It seemed to be bad English. You say you're playing well.
Right.
Now good is acceptable, and it's acceptable officially. So I'm saying the English language changed, and the whole concept of man being dominant. So in England, for example, I fight for my niece and nephew to be British, right? And everything is about the father, you know. They ain't saying about the mother. Everything's about the father. When the father was born, what the father birth certificate is. It's not talking about the mom as the party that allow you to become a citizen. So it's a man-dominated society, and every we go from the man. It's all about the man. It wasn't about the woman.
All right, so I understand what you're saying, and it's called basically. That's why you have etymology of words. You go back to the root of words because things can change and change the meaning of what it really is.
No, it's not even about etymology, you know. It's about they decide to change over time because some language becomes common. Some words become so common usage, they incorporate into the vocabulary, they incorporate into the dictionary, they incorporate into the language. And some way of saying things change over time, not because of the origination of the word, etymology of the word. It's just because society have normalized the word, so you just brought it into the whole equation because it makes sense.
Right, but the normalization of the word can become a lie, is what I'm trying to say to you. So even though things can change, suppose me want to tell a lie, you know, and me want to change a word to mean something different, to deceive, you know. That means it's supposed to be accepted as the truth. So now look back to the truth of the word and look back to the world based on a basic standpoint like gravity. We're bringing
the conversation to the football. Let me ask that question. You supportive of diaspora players?
You must support them.
Are you supportive of them being a part of the national team?
Because what I'm saying is not about where you're born.
Right, okay.
People in Jamaica is basically out in a born of Jamaica. Them four parents, I said people like me and you, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right? Their father is the same thing like me. Look for them money, them father. I left them live Jamaica and go to England, go live to make a better life.
Yeah.
So it logically doesn't make any sense. So I say, they're not born from one land. It's like, this is some simple things where we just lose as people and we become very dumb. People did not get their name from land. People name land because they own the land. So if your name is Kranky and you purchase a piece of land, this now becomes Kranky's land, right? And Kranky Pitney them are go own this said land as an heritage, right? So you could say this is the land of Kranky. Nowadays people are so dumb now, they're saying, they're the land of Jamaica. No man named Jamaica. There's not one single person ever named Jamaica. So when you say that you're basically, you take yourself from a family of people, so you don't know who you are. That's what I'm saying. Who were these people before slavery? They cannot tell you because them lost them who their people were. They lose them culture. Them lose them history because they're now appointing themselves to a land and dedicated to that land per se than the family of the people them that were brought to that land.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, I believe that we have to do a better job, all of us, of trying to come to what I call a consensus, right, on some things. And we have been separated so much as a people by so many other people. We seem to have, I don't know if we ever had our way, but we have really lost our way. And here's one thing that bothered me. I don't want to go off into a social matter because this conversation is going south. But I'm going to say this.
The conversation is based on
that
people. Sorry,
no, I want to say this, which is this. In New York, for example, you know, people talk about racism and prejudice and all these stuff, and we talk about diaspora versus local. But if you're in New York in certain neighborhoods, you will never go to certain neighborhoods and find a black business in there. Not because black people don't have business there, because they're excluded from having business there. But you can go into any black neighborhood and find a different persuasion, doing business in that neighborhood and being supported. And yet we're told we're exclusionary. We don't support, we're an isolationist. But when you see how the society is constructed and what's allowed and how things work, you realize that we're separated in so many ways, we'll never come together. So I admire Determined for trying to bring us together, but institutionalize us being separate and function separately. So.
I agree with what I say in regards to that, you know, right? But the thing is, you see, if we don't individually learn for ourselves and just accept whatever is thrown on our plate, like Christopher Columbus discovered it, doesn't make no sense. If we accept these rubbish because it was taught to us in school, we're going to be idiots.
That's why we don't want to accept the rubbish from the JFF. It's a rubbish.
JFF rubbish.
Rubbish about that. Once some people get certain rule after them fail. How can you? So here's the thing. How can you fail so miserably and have the audacity to want the job? I don't understand. I think you should get the job. In fact, you've orchestrated getting the job. But cronyism should only be allowed. Wait, cronyism is a problem, right? But if you failed, like, what is there to figure out? You failed.
Right, but the thing is, right, so these are the problem with the people that run JFF from day one. Right? Because remember, it's not like we know JFF being run properly from the get-go. It might be did run better, but not like it did run good. Right? So put that on the plate, right? So if you understand that we have a system that is not controlled by the outer people that are outside. We have no say as to what they do, and them figure that out. You know what I mean? So if they can get each other in the organization to agree with what they're doing, all we're going to do is continue to complain, right? Because we can't stop Speid from being the coach, right? We can't stop Mr. Ricketts from continuing being the president, right? They might tell themselves that they might do good, and they might tell themselves they're in a better place when we don't agree with them. And the fact that we don't have a vote or any say in that, all we're going to be as fun is just get upset and cuss and ball thief and ban them and be things. It's not going to change nothing. You see what I say?
Yeah, we're beating our head against a brick wall. Ain't going to change. I totally agree with that. Totally agree. We don't have the influence. We think we have influence like people in England when it comes to like, they're trying to go to the Super League or in a Mason Greenwood situation where they say the women say Mason can't play in England again. And Man U was trying to change that and the women said we're not having it. We don't have those influence.
Right, but then they come out the money too. You see, the thing is, JFF need to have sponsors, so we can even boycott these sponsors to make them make move because of money. You get what I say? So when
but see, here's what you gotta understand about that. How many people are getting? They did their jerseys. Them sell at Jamaica at all. Because when I'm in Jamaica, I couldn't get any. Them sell them overseas. They not sell them at Jamaica. They might distribute at Jamaica. They had these jerseys.
Overseas.
Exactly. We're not making the money for them. The money's being made other places. They don't care. The money's been made. It's not like you can cut off the support system and you affect them. We don't control the audience who's acquiring the merchandise. At least a lot of the merchandise. We don't control the audience. And we don't support as much as we should support. If our support was overwhelming, it'd be a different story. It's not. Sometimes our support is almost like tangential versus substantive.
Which is why people in Jamaica should not be so hard against the people them overseas, because again, I said people, and they are the ones overseas pumping back the money in the system to make the football here better, which knows a JFF rob the money, but At least them have
No,
put it
when
in
I when
front.
I when I say the corrupt, you know, when I use the corrupt thing for my channel. You know, when I do that. Me can't call out
Well,
people corrupt
well,
unless me know them corrupt.
over
So
the
me don't.
years, it has been reported that JFF been robbing the country, robbing the
I
football.
don't know
So
about that, and I don't
based on
call
those
anything about corruption, people.
allegations, and
The
they've been
statement
going
about corruption is
bankrupt.
made by the caller, not the Kranky.
Yeah, man.
Hey, you know, say Jamaica make me get sued enough. Jamaica make me get sued enough. Okay, you know, Jamaica law.
No, they can't sue you.
No. I'm saying if you're in Jamaica, no, in Jamaica they can sue you. In Jamaica, you can be sued if someone come in your forum and say something directly about somebody else. You can be sued as an enabler,
No, but
even if you disqualify it and
not
disclaim it. I'm telling you. I'm
but
kind of be
not
far. It's kind of far to reach across the pond. It's a little bit further to reach, so we are somewhat protected, right? But I'm telling you, in Jamaica, I read the defamation laws. They're made by politicians who don't want to be criticized. Period.
cool.
So anyway,
Probably I grew up, we used to them atheist, but that's what they seem to say. Well, that's true, but it, you know, if you go so, you nearly go so.
sir. Don't say that. No.
blessings.
All right, bless up, man. Thanks for the call. Bless up. Yeah, we don't want to use the corruption. I think people come up. We can't improve. We want to say something we can't improve. I think the term he called me earlier. I'm a first responder. Let me see if him still awake. And when him done me, I got my bed, people. It's been a long night. Interesting night. I'm not pick up. All right. Now pick up. I don't want to call about this late at night. Okay, everyone. First of all, I do appreciate each of you coming out this evening to support the channel and for us to have a conversation. It is very disconcerting, to be honest, to see what transpired, to see what happened. He's calling back. Good night. You're the last caller for the evening. First responder. Go ahead.
Long time. I will call you in a long time, Mr. Kranky. Good
Yeah.
night.
Good night. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. Just coming out of my depressive state with the Reggae Boyz and all of that stuff.
Okay. Why are you depressed? Why are you depressed? I mean, you didn't expect to beat Congo, did you?
No,
Okay.
but just like Maverick would have said, in my watch it, you know, when you cover up your face with your hand them and I peep to your finger them.
Yeah.
I submit peep to my finger them, hoping against hope. But some people would say Jamaica did not play well. I kind of think so them they did rise to the occasion and played a lot better than how they were playing before. Taking into consideration that Congo is not is a good team. So I think the guys I'm not beating any player. I think they did good. If they had started out the campaign like that, I think we would have a good team.
So are you saying Rudolph should have been a coach from inception?
No, I'm going to get to that. But what I can say is, you're right when you say they fail. You know, they did fail and they failed badly, and they failed badly because up to the last game we didn't know who the team was. So for the last 4 years, they did not do their homework to build a team, right? So let's parallel to like basketball. You have the New York Knicks, and for the whole 3 months of basketball, a one team you have. Though you're looking over the fence to see who you can add to make the team better, or who you can get rid of to save money or whatever. But Jamaica they kept chopping and changing right before your eyes, and you knew what was happening, and you knew there was no team chemistry, and it kept going on and on and on and on right through the time. So even up to the time that we played Curacao, the chopping and changing was going on, and we were still looking over the fence for new players, Mason Greenwood, this player over there, so that player over there. So when you come to all of that, that is a firing offense, you know. So, but and then you always talk about traditional media, Kranky.
And you always say traditional media don't do their job and they don't ask the right questions and all of that stuff. So we'll go over to traditional media now. And your friend Maverick, for all
That's
the
a
time
stretch,
that
my
he's been,
friend. That's a stretch.
yeah, but hold on, Kranky. For all the time, right? For all the time that Maverick was on his program, the Sports Explosion, he did not ask the right questions and him not beat nobody and him not pressure nobody. And all of a sudden when him not have the program no more, him beat Speed.
No, he has a
And
program. He's on a different station. He has a program.
oh, I didn't know that he
Yeah,
had
yeah, no,
another
he has a
guy.
program. He has a program. He has a program. He's on
Why would
95
Speed?
FM versus
Okay.
it's 97. Yeah.
Well, maybe Speed tell him say him and no him friend anymore. Why him really blast him left, right, and center on that
In a really blast him, you know. Him call out some things which are not debatable, and he said he should stay a Cavalier. Okay. Think about what Maverick said about him versus Mason Greenwood. Him said Mason Greenwood for go away. Very dismissive, right? Very condescending. In Rudolph, he said Rudolph should stay a Cavalier and leave the program alone. So there's the tone matters, and how you position the words matters in terms of what you're saying. Tell me if it go away, that's as bad as dismissive.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
But before that, when even Speed was on his program and he's interviewing him, he didn't the tenor of his
Yes.
criticism now changed because he had him on the program when all of that was going on and he never pressure him.
No, I think part of the problem you have is the tone, as you're saying, the tone of the interviews are such whereby it becomes, if you say Speedy, first of all, you start calling me Speedy, that's friendly, right? I'm making you comfortable. Let's say you try to make me comfortable. But the questions weren't intrusive, they weren't penetrative, they didn't get you, they didn't make you feel uncomfortable. And in those situations, it has to be uncomfortable because of the nature of what's transpiring, because of the situation we're in, and the fact that we were regressing, not progressing. So it had to be uncomfortable, but it was made uncomfortable.
Agreed. All right. On that note, then, you can't really blame traditional media too much. Then, knowing the landscape that they have to work with, and the negative things that will happen after they come out point blank and speak. Because even with you, Kranky, sometimes like I have to agree with the term, and I noticed it a long time ago. Why is it that you have to say Ricketts is a nice person when you're ready to beat Ricketts? You just beat him.
No, because there's a difference between. So here's the thing about that, which is this: if you met somebody and they're so accommodating, they're so gracious, then you feel guilty when you go beat them, you know. No, but you're a human being, right? You feel guilty, but you have to do your job, right? But you have to say to people, right? Look, the person is exemplary in how gracious he is. I'm telling you, you got to go meet him. You got to meet him first, people. I'm telling you. To me, he was anyway. I met him in Houston. I was like, damn, I got to beat you when you're so nice. I don't know how I'm going to do this. Trust me. If I have to beat you, because I wasn't beating him then, I said, if I have to beat you, this is going to be tough.
I know, because if I put myself in your shoes, I would feel the same. But when I noticed, it's not just you, it's media wise. Like Stephen A. Smith, if you want to talk about LeBron James, the first thing you say, oh, I love LeBron James, I love LeBron James, I love him for a long time, but I didn't beat him after. So why is it that you have to pet and powder the person first? Because if you're gonna beat the person,
no, you're trying to make people that. No.
What you said before, no, don't help.
No. It does. Because what you're saying is not personal. It's business. That's all that is.
But all right. So if we're gonna beat Ricky, just say, look here, I have to put criticism where criticism has to go.
But that's why I say he's a nice person. That's what I'm saying. I said that indirectly.
No. Keep saying that. You know, we don't want to hear that nice person. There's something.
You don't want to hear it, but me want to say it.
The thing about it is, you know, if you should do a poll, you would find out that most people don't like Ricketts nor Speed.
Yeah.
No, maybe the whole JFF, because even the manager who came out recently and said what he did, that's a fireable offense. That is, you can't. it's almost like you come out and criticize somebody in the media, which is not appropriate. Whoever is running the organization, not a reprimand, you don't hear nothing. No reprimand, no apology for because I mean, say even if him apologize, why am I apologize for? Because he mean what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
All
that
right,
was
so.
totally inappropriate,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right, thanks for the call, sir.
No, hold on 1 second. All right. Now
You have
just
more?
with it.
It's late, you know.
Yeah.
You're not going to work tomorrow.
No. We get what we deserve,
Okay.
Jamaica get what them deserve. And you see a lot of people who call in and criticizing how the team play and all that. When the team was not losing as basically as they're losing now under Grimmy. People were calling for Grimmy to be fired because the ball game was not pretty. We were going somewhere slowly, but the whole heap of callers who are called now and even would be looking back in hindsight that Grimmy was doing a good job. We're calling for Grimmy to resign because the pretty ball game that them a look for was not there. So think a lot of people should not be, should have just keep themselves quiet, basically, because we can't be satisfied. We don't know what we want, and we just too critical of people sometimes. What do you say?
I don't know actually. I don't have much to say in that direction.
So you were calling for Grimmy to resign during the period of time.
You know what? This is gonna sound really weird. I don't think I was calling for his resignation, but I think I want him to improve the style of play. Because
we were getting somewhere, Kranky.
No, but I'm saying I think we all lost our marbles after Copa. How bad we were. I was calling out Grimmy for certain decisions he made. Like I think when he had Lati play a certain position that he shouldn't, he did some things in Copa, but I think he was gone then. By the way. He was gone at Copa. He made some bad decisions in Copa. I think he was just going through the motions.
This is the last thing I'm going to say because it just popped up in my head. McLaren. We may all think that McLaren don't have no sense, right? Do you think that when McLaren was saying that, what the guy named his deputy at the time, Meron, when he was saying, Meron gave me the players, Meron gave me this, do you think he was really crying out for the pressures that he was under and the discomfort and telling us subliminally that I'm being undermined and these are the people who are...
There's none subliminal. I'm messed up here.
Yeah, but
nothing subliminal about McLaren. He doesn't have that subtlety or that caginess. He may be a little bit deceptive. McLaren was lazy. Sorry. He was lazy. And that was his problem. So if he was doing his work and he had invested in himself, he would have identified those players. He would have known all the players were. Grimmy knew who the players were. Grimmy had McLaren there for a little while, but after a while, Grimmy got to know the players and decided that some players can't make his team and he was getting pressure and he refused to acquiesce to that pressure. And if nobody said he was not getting pressure, that's not true. He was getting pressure, but Grimmy wasn't having it. His protege Jean Wall was getting pressure. Jean Wall wasn't having it. They got rid of Jean Wall and Grimmy left.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the call.
Well, good for them. Yeah, man.
All right. So let's see how skillful Kranky is. Stefan and somebody else in the chat, they have a question. So Kranky, this is the last question I'm answering for the night before I turn on. So Kranky, my question is, haven't your friend, former blogger, failed as well? What do you mean? There's nobody I know who was in a position to coach or manage the team. So how would they fail? I don't understand. Nobody that I know who was in a position to manage the team, coach the team, or effect change in JFF. So how would they have? I don't understand, Stefan. I'm not avoiding your question. How would the person have? Whoever that person you're alluding to, how would they have failed? You gotta elaborate on your question because I don't get it. How is somebody with no power in a position? So I'm referring to somebody, but does the person have power? So, example, power in the JFF is about the board, about the board and the committees and the president and his directs. Not even the manager, you see nowadays, have the power to effectuate change in the organization as it relates to what's happening on the football field. So I don't think Roy Simpson to me have no power, even though he may think he does, but he doesn't. The only power I would see would be the president, Rudolph, and board members. So those who go recruit players, those who make decisions about resources, and those who make decisions about coaching hire. I don't know anybody else in there who'll be in a role that affords them that responsibility and that ability to effectuate change. So I don't fully understand that, Stefan, even though I know what you're alluding to. No, they weren't managing nothing. Don't let nobody fool you. Whatever you're talking about, they're not managing nothing. They're most fool. They're not managing nothing. Trust me, Stefan, they're not managing nothing. They're confusing management with, trust me, but they're not managing nothing. Whatever you're talking about and what they manage has nothing to do with the hierarchy that runs the organization. Nothing. Zero. The two are mutually exclusive. They have no influence. They don't affect change nowhere. Doesn't happen. So, yeah, that's not even part of it. You can't fail if you don't have no power. So, anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Let me say this, everyone. First of all, before you go, see, I put that up. I decided to come with this background so you can see like, share, subscribe, and those are all my social media linkage you see there. So addresses, so you can go on them. And secondly, I do appreciate everyone coming out tonight. It wasn't an impromptu show, but I put it up late deliberately because I just want to come on, say my piece, do my review, do my reaction, and jump off. It's 11:21 on the East Coast, 10:21 in Jamaica. I don't have enough people in Jamaica watch my program, you know. Someone Determined said that earlier, and he's right, because I look at the composition of my audience, and it's mainly US actually. I think there's about 5% Canada, similar UK. Most of the audience from the US. So I would love to expand my base in Jamaica for people in Jamaica who, if you know any people in Jamaica who want to watch some YouTube about Jamaica football and they would enjoy the conversation, have them join. It's good conversation. I try to be fair. The persons who are getting criticized would not think I'm fair, and it's done wholeheartedly. And people think I have something against Rudolph Speid, and I don't actually. Rudolph and I periodically communicate in backdoor channels. A lot of time the conversation is not pleasant and it's very short. And but I understand him being perturbed at me and not happy with me sometimes, given some things I say in the public domain. But it all comes from the heart. I am very focused on Jamaica football. I want the football to improve. I want the country to do well. It's a selfish thing for me because it's about my personal gratification when it comes to football. And it's for all of us. We're all very selfish when it comes to the football because we want Jamaica to win so we can enjoy ourselves and we can feel good and we can brag and we can feel, you know what? The country is doing well. It resonates with us. We can talk to our friends about it, especially those of other nationalities. We feel great about it. When the country does poorly, it reflects on us also. And it is unfathomable. You can't fathom it. That the World Cup is happening in a couple of months in the US, for Christ's sake, in this part of the world. And they watered down the World Cup. They have 48 teams. They bent over backwards to make Jamaica make the World Cup. And even when they bent over backwards in CONCACAF and do all they can to make it, we still fail to make it. And then the worst thing about it is there is zero accountability by any party in the administration about this failure. All we hear is someone like Roy Simpson coming out, making his asinine comments about his diaspora, and this is failed. I mean, we hear people in the traditional media saying the same crap. And they don't look at every element, they don't do a postmortem to look at everything that informs a program, whether it's the media, whether it's the sponsors, whether it's the players, whether it's the executive. They don't look at every element that informs it and say what worked, what didn't work. No, they rush to judgment and don't realize that what they think is the root cause may not be the root cause. Because at the end of the day, nobody tell them to pick the English players, right? Because that didn't work for them. And no one, English-born players, I should say, and no one tell them not to coach the local players to be good enough to compete on the world stage. Nobody prevent them from doing that. That's their prerogative. But they don't execute right, then they want to pass the blame to somebody else. It's not our fault. We use a strategy, it didn't work. The people who are in the seat making decisions, who hired these coaches, who fired these coaches, who only fire the good coaches and retain the ones who are bad, who interfere in the process, who come and say that no one at all interfere with any coach at any level in the program, which is factually wrong and not true, and frankly disingenuous to say that, because I know factually that's not the case. That's not okay. It's not okay to come to say that Hogrimson left because he lost a game in Jamaica, Canada. Hey, Maverick, I want to address them thing there. Hey, Orville, and I want to address them question in my youth. How come not address the question when the man say the man leave because he lost a game against Canada when he went on to win the next game and then went to the semifinal? People treating us like we are morons, like we ain't got no sense. Maybe we are morons because frankly we're supporting the football, so maybe we ain't got no sense. But to treat us like we're kids, like we can't reason, like we don't have any deductive ability, that we can't deduce nothing, we can just take things as given to us, that can't be okay. We're not, it's almost like you're a novice or, oh, you know what? I don't give a damn about you. You're unimportant. We have our organization. You can't do a damn thing about it. So you can run him out all you want because you can't change nothing. Let them run them out. They can't do nothing. That's what they're basically saying. And then they say, oh, you're not coming to the stadium to spend your money, or you're not coming to the games to watch them. But why should people do that when you have no responsibility to them? You have no obligation to them. You're not accountable to them. You're only accountable to yourself. And then the problem is they're not the players. So they're the overseers. They're the managers. They're the ones who govern the program. And some of them are not capable of doing it in the right way. And we all pay for it. And before they do the patriotic thing and the so-called nationalist thing and the right thing and resign, they want a bigger position. Mirrored. Anyway, thanks for being here, people. Maybe you guys can help me because I'm not that smart as to how we got here. And we keep going back to 1998. And even when enough of us die and gone, we're grave, we're still here about 98. And I say this before I go. Every single year, the 98 team gets better. You know why the 98 team was so cohesive? Because none of them have no contract overseas. Probably with Walter Boyd, I think was playing in Colorado. Most of them were locally based. Everybody now who can play some football with some ability get contract overseas. Whether it's Norman Campbell, whether it's Flemo, whether it's Kaim Dixon, whether it's Cephas, whether it's Whisper, whether it's Bailey. In Jamaica, we have them export there until before the World Cup. Or is it after the World Cup they export them? People like BB overseas. They were all local. And every year they get better and better and better. Because right now Cargill is Busquets. Okay? Cargill is Busquets. Pepper Goodison is Van Dyke. And I bet sure by next year they're going to be passing those people too. Hey, time is very kind to them. And the more we don't make the World Cup, the larger than life they get. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Peace out.